Yeah. Hey everyone, welcome to Bounding Live. My name is John Trent and I'm joined by my co-host Jorge Arenas, Don Edmonds, and Script Doctor. How are you guys all doing today?
Wonderful.
Doing great.
It's good. It's been a week since our last Bounding live stream. There's a lot that's actually happened in the entertainment industry. Surprising given that it feels like it's all been shut down, but looks like studios are still making moves, and we're still hearing lots of leaks and rumors. But I do want to address some stuff, some Twitter drama. We had some Twitter drama past couple days, so I probably should have started this off. But you're actually this is no longer Bounding Live. This is the He-Man Woman Haters Club that is here now. Someone was really upset that out of 5 of the last 10 stories that I had written were about a female, and that was a problem for them. And then they went on and calling me all kinds of nasty names and accused me of doing nasty stuff and hating women, despite the fact that I'm married, I have a mother, and I have a sister.
Well, John, it's almost as if half the population has a certain set of chromosomes. I don't know. I'm not a statistician or anything like that, but it kind of makes sense. A certain amount of our stories are going to be about women. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
not a genius or anything.
there's a possibility it's been a really bad week for women. I mean,
For certain women, for sure, I think it's been a bad week for them. For other women, it's probably been a great week.
yeah, because Michael Chabon and the other guy, they've already had their week.
Kurtzman and Chabon, yeah, they had their.
Yeah, but it just happened to be, I think it was yesterday, that those were the stories that I had written, the past 10 stories that they just anecdotally decided to come to use as their weapon to try and get after us.
At the time they called you out, half of your articles were about guys and half of the articles were about women.
Yeah, I know.
It's progressive, right?
One of them was like a Venom rumor. It was like a Venom 2 rumor about Carnage, about the trailer. It's just, it was crazy. It was just normal. I mean, they were just normal articles. People saying dumb stuff. It was like Heather Antos and Dana Schwartz, and then that Rick and Morty chick.
Yeah.
Jessica Thompson. Siobhan Thompson.
Oh, Thompson, yeah.
Yeah, she was wishing horrendous pain on Boris Johnson after he had tested positive
For the Kung Flu.
No, she wasn't the only one. That film Robert guy. Whatever the hell
Movie
it
Bob,
was.
I think, was going after him too. I saw the quartering had a video where he included our article, and then he added some other stuff to it as well. But then today, again, I don't know. I don't really feel like. I feel like we have to reiterate this almost like once a month or something. People were just going crazy about. Spencer did a write up on The Last of Us Part 2, and about a rumor, and which we did. We've done multiple rumors. Like I just did that. I did a Venom 2 rumor. Don just got up a Black Widow post. The rumor came from 4chan, and that seemed to be where the people were taking issues with, that it was coming from 4chan. But I actually think that wasn't really what the issue they were taking with. It was the content of the rumor and what the rumor was about, rather than where it's from. Because, like I said, we do rumors from all over all the time. Like we do 4chan, we'll do Mikey Sutton, we'll do. I just did a rumor Star Wars piece about Ahsoka Tano, and it came from. The Direct, which is what's his name? Daniel Richtman is like they call him a contributing insider there. So we do rumors from him too. Like we do rumors from all sorts of different people, and we also have our own exclusives too, which obviously we aren't as proliferous as all these other rumors that we do, but we do get our own exclusives, and those we do obviously check and double check. Whereas the rumors like, hey, this is a rumor story. We're telling you it's a rumor. It's in the headline, but people are still upset about it.
Well, we're very honest about, hey, this is a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt, you know.
And this is where it came from.
We always put it as the first word in the headline. It always starts with rumor, and
And if it's not the first, if it's not just rumor, it's like new rumor or like alleged rumor, or something like that.
Clearly talking about it being a rumor.
Well, all the responsibility on the headline to preface the rumor, and yet they're just ignoring it.
Well, my favorite thing is that one guy who's like, I'm going to school to become a journalist, and I'm going to try to throw some words. I'm like, you're paying over $40,000 a year to not even know how to read the first sentence of an article.
The first word.
Congratulations.
The first word. Yeah, and so it's not even the headline. Like I make sure it's like So when I edit the stories, I make sure that like the headline is like reiterated. Hey, like we're talking about a new rumor. Like it's not just like in the headline; it's the first sentence too. And then some people are like, it's unsourced. So people are saying it's like unsourced, and I was like, dude, the freaking screenshot of where it came from is in the article. Like, what are you talking about?
You see some flashing light gifs on either side of the website when it says rumor.
I'll just
Yeah,
some old school HTML.
Red light rumors or something.
Dude, GeoCity style, we got to do it.
It just baffles me.
Well, they're just using it as a linchpin for an argument. That's all it was. They're just mad because either they're very thirsty dudes hoping to score that sweet woman points, right? Or they were actually maybe friends of these people, and I don't know. I'm gonna.
I think a lot of it had to do with the content of the article. I think the content of the rumor was saying that the villains of Last of Us 2 are going to be a homophobic Christian cult.
But here's the thing, though. What makes the rumor crazy is it's not even something that any of us would be shocked, right? That's what hit close home. Like, oh, this is not shocking at all. I think
it is shocking to some people. I think it's shocking to some people because they see how people were reacting to it, and we're just like, are you kidding me? Like, this is just crap. Like, I'm not gonna. Like there were people saying like I'm done. I'm not going to buy this anymore. Jeremy Griggs from Geeks and Gamers was like, "Oh, I was talking about praising this game. Take it all away now." And remember, this is just a rumor, so we don't know if this is even true. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, like these, again, it is a rumor, and it can affect people's opinions. But you do need to understand that it is a rumor. We're reporting it as a rumor. And we aren't confirming that this is something that is going to happen.
Yeah. Well, again, we make a point to put very clear, hey, this is a rumor. We're not claiming any authenticity to it. This is what we're getting. You make your own decision, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we usually ask you at the end of every article, we're like, what do you think of this rumor? Do you think it's legit? Do you buy it? Do you think it's a load of crap?
But I think you guys are absolutely right. It was absolutely the content because I did a rumor story the other day about Resident Evil 8, right?
Yeah,
and no one had a dang
problems.
With it.
Yeah, nobody batted an eye there.
But no one batted an eye about my Venom 2 rumor. Don had just done. We just got the Black Widow rumor up today. What did you do yesterday? Oh, yeah. Well, no, it was earlier today. What did we do earlier today? What did you write earlier today, Don? Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. No, it was the other one. It was a rumor story.
The other rumor about Doctor Strange 2.
Yes, we'll get to that later. But yeah, Doctor Strange 2 rumor, no one has a problem with that. No one is like, oh my gosh, why are you reporting this? Like all this other crap.
Well, having said that, I don't think it got a lot of clicks on it.
Yeah, we'll see. It might do a little better later.
I think if we put the actual name of the person in the headline, it would have.
Maybe, I don't know. We got Doctor Strange in there. We got Multiverse of Madness. I don't know.
And there's also a lot of competition for news right now too. So
yeah,
it's like the third horseman's currently in disguise, so people are kind of not paying attention.
Yeah, but I do want to say hello to everyone in the chat. I see Mark is with us. Keely Chow. Tom is here now with us on stream. How are you guys all doing today?
I had to go get a Twinkie.
I went and got a brownie here. My wife just made some brownies. So I have a brownie.
I hate jelly.
When you see the bounding logo show up, you know I'm partaking in the brownie. But yeah, so I just wanted to get that kind of off my chest. I just feel like it's just that we have to explain this over and over again once a month. It's just kind of absurd, I feel like. But okay, so let's get into this. So we haven't talked about it. I know, Tom, you were saying you talked about this on Midnight's Edge yesterday, but there is a rumor that Ezra Miller is done from The Flash, and he will no longer be playing that role after video showed him choking a woman outside of a bar.
I was going to say, I'm choked up over that news.
Yeah. Yeah,
are we sure he wasn't giving her a weird Heimlich maneuver?
Force power.
I kind of want to say I'm surprised that he would do this, but I'm really not, given that interview with Gal Gadot that he did, where he was trying to get her to like condemn the patriarchy or whatever.
Isn't it weird when you have people who want to condemn the patriarchy? They tend to either be sexual predators or like hitting women. Like, isn't that odd?
I think One Angry Gamer has like a whole article on people who have been like arrested and been taken to jail for crimes.
Have that before.
What's that, Spencer?
Oh, I was just saying the Twitter user Mombot, she used to have a running one of those before it got deleted. I don't know if it got archived anywhere.
Yeah, before Twitter X'd her.
Yeah.
For who knows whatever reason.
I just got a report that Ezra was defending himself. The same guys that attacked Juicy Smollier were the ones that attacked him.
Juicy Smollier. Oh. Just,
so
if you haven't seen the Dave Chappelle stand-up,
were they wearing "Make Vikings Great Again" hats?
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you know?
She was going like this, like it's like, you could tell she was just messing around, and then he just like was like, "Oh, you want to go?" He just like got super serious. I think this is one of those really violent drunks.
We got to put the right pronoun to Ezra, though.
Oh yeah, we gotta be careful.
They, yeah, sorry.
Can we just call him a Borg?
I'm probably gonna mess up on that the entire stream.
Even more.
I get that
on Twitter.
I get that reference because it's like he's non-binary, so the Borg is like, I can picture him rubbing his nipple, going, "Resistance is futile."
Oh, thank you so much.
Didn't need that imagery at all.
I'm gonna replay this part of the stream for other purposes later.
Sometimes you need to choke a bitch.
I love that. And he whispers in her ear, "Resistance is futile."
Yeah, resistance is futile.
I mean, the only thing I get with that is the image of Ezra with the high heels on, and then his legs.
Oh, that weird photo shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, was that the GQ photo shoot? Because Palahniuk is saying he had a GQ interview from 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
that was pretty horrible.
I think it's from before GQ.
Yeah, wasn't it Playboy?
I wouldn't be surprised. That magazine has gone downhill.
It was for Playboy.
I knew it. The Otter wins.
But
sure,
yeah,
wasn't Playgirl.
So there's this rumor here that he's done.
He's done before he even started. Oh, sorry.
Done with the Flash.
They are done before they even started.
What are you talking about? He's been in like 3 movies.
He hasn't been noticeable to me.
And an episode.
Oh yeah, and
for like 20 seconds. Oh my god.
What does that say about him? He was the only one they could afford.
I don't know if they could even afford him. I think from what I heard, he was the one who wanted to do it because it like solidifies him within like the DC or whatever.
Yeah,
probably threatened to choke him if they didn't let him.
He's gonna choke the TV Flash.
I'll fucking choke you if you don't let me do it.
So yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm never gonna let him live that down.
No, I don't think he should.
I'm surprised he didn't use the Speed Force when he grabbed her.
He definitely shouldn't live it down because if it happened to anybody else, they wouldn't let him like that person live it down.
No, Donald, if any of us would have done it in this stream right now, we would not have been released from jail. We would be already in a precinct doing paperwork, getting ready to do a nice, time. Come on.
Not only that, 2 of those other guys that are hollering, hey, wait a minute, would have kicked our ass.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Instead of standing outside in the snow and bare feet waiting for the cops, we'd have been laying in the snow, bloodied, waiting for the cops.
Those bring back good memories.
Plus, I was looking at the Twitter of the chick that made the initial posting. She like does MMA or something. She works out. Like, wow.
Yeah, she's the friend. I don't understand why she deleted that. I guess she didn't want the attention coming onto her. Which it seemed like it worked because I looked at like multiple. I'm over here trying to like close this tab on my other screen.
Hold up, did I just say characters of the day, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you didn't tell me?
Yeah, we do. That was Raphael. We did him last week. Yeah, that was actually really fun. I really enjoyed that one. I'm a big fan of Raphael. I got him up here.
It's all about Michelangelo, man.
My Raphael.
I can't see it because you're covered up by the minutes, but I can kind of see it.
Well, yeah, he's got all these extra weapons in the back of his.
Oh, that's a newer one. Okay, yeah, I see it.
Back of his shell. Yeah, it's a little newer, but yeah, I like it.
So I got quite a few turtle things, but I ain't gonna start showing that shit. We'll be here all night.
Hopefully he doesn't fall down. He's probably going to fall down. He looks a little top heavy now. We'll see. But yeah, so he choked. If you haven't seen the video, he chokes this woman, literally picks her up almost, and then drags her to the ground, turns her the other way, and then drags her to the ground. There's a big woman too, bigger woman.
Like a pretty crazy video to see.
Yeah, and I remember. So yeah, what I was saying was earlier is like no one had the person who originally reported or like shared the tweet on Twitter and then on Reddit. They deleted their Reddit account, and then they had deleted their tweets with that information. There was one Twitter user that had like screen capped it. I couldn't find a archive link.
Oh, you should have said something. I got it here.
To the original tweets.
That was part of the PR.
Well, I got the Reddit thing.
Oh yeah, we have we had that all in our article. We got all that stuff. But when I was looking around for a lot of that stuff, no one else really had that. Everyone was kind of like questioning whether it was a joke or not.
Yeah, this is what I got here.
Yeah, we had the person basically saying, "Hey, this isn't a joke. This person was the female was joking around, and then Ezra took it too far."
Yeah, well, it didn't matter because the next day Variety confirmed it anyway, right?
Yeah, then Variety, like later that day, I guess like later that day, Variety confirmed, because I think they posted it in the middle of the night, because I think they're European, they're obviously in Iceland, so they're the time distance. So here in the States, it was probably more, I think they posted it at night, like overnight for us. And then,
well, what do you think? Do you think it just took that many days for it to go viral, or do you think they just waited a couple days to post it, or what do you think took so long? Because it happened on the 1st, I remember from the report.
Yeah, I think they didn't post it until the 6th, I believe, or like overnight, the 5th and the 6th.
It was like late on the 5th, yeah.
Yeah, it was the time. It was like overnight on the 5th, and then it went viral like immediately on the 6th. I know people were questioning on Reddit like why it hadn't gone as viral as it did, but it did go viral when it went viral. I mean, obviously we're still talking about it.
His publicist might have been able to keep it down for a while, I suppose, but then maybe negotiations between him and whoever broke down and they got out. It's hard to say.
I'm one. Yeah, that could be right. Maybe the initial person the person who was actually attacked didn't want it to get out. But then the friend was like, no, like screw that. I'm going public with this and we're going to show it. I got the tape.
Either that or they were all brought in for questioning and they just didn't have the means to drop the video.
Yeah, at the time, maybe. The Variety report said he was escorted out. I was actually the Variety report actually kind of sickened me a little bit. They reported that he was escorted out by police, but then they were trying to, they did try and almost defend Miller's actions and ran a little cover for him. I forget exactly how they phrased it, but it was something akin of like Miller was defending himself.
Yeah, they're trying to.
Yeah.
What?
Maybe that's why the video finally dropped. That could be too.
Yeah, because that's how Variety was reporting. They said he was defending himself, and you can obviously in the video the female is totally just messing around, like, oh, you want to fight? Come on! And
not only that, if he feels like he needs to defend himself against a woman, what does that say about him? I guess.
Exactly.
Hey, there are women that you might need to defend yourself against. I mean, have you? I mean,
but he's in public in a club, so if he was
guy.
Yeah, but even if he was really in some kind of fucking like
danger,
don't you think like the bouncers or like his people would come and step in? And what I couldn't hear who said that. Somebody said I was right. God damn it.
Oh, that
was... Okay.
Yeah, I don't know
if how pronouns that need help.
They, them, there, there.
Don's gonna remind us of that all night.
He's gonna have to, because the motherfucker will sue us if we don't.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, there went the darn monetization.
Oh well.
What's new?
Let's be real.
You guys don't bring me around just for my mind. You bring me around for the laughs. I figured that out by now.
Star Trek references as well.
No, you're here for
That too.
your anime knowledge.
Haven't you got any goddamn feelings about that? I don't know. Thing one about anime, I've seen a couple, and I know the other stuff has like a lot of tentacle porn.
That's the cultured anime. Thank you very much.
Man,
There you go.
culture.
See,
That's what it's all about. But yeah, I mean, watching that video, you know what it reminded me of? Y'all remember Jerry Springer in the late 90s?
oh, who doesn't?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
That was like something straight out of, Springer. Like, okay, this is a joke. And no, it's not a joke. Holy crap. He's actually trying to choke her.
yeah. I was thinking
Oh,
it was what was it? Jersey Shore. There was always fights about Jersey Shore on that show. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
And I think the moment he took her to the ground was kind of the moment where you can go past him, and him even trying to say, "Oh, I was just goofing around." You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like at that point, there's no way you can like get away with it.
When a guy takes a woman to the ground, it's
As soon as
kinda
he
hard to
grabbed
go back.
her, like his tone in his voice was deadly serious. He was
But
like,
if you're
"You wanna
goofing
fight?"
around, you're almost going to sound like that. Yeah, you want to fight? Come on, let's fight. Even guys who are fucking around when the first, like say, they pretend like they're getting into a fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the
Ezra's
cherry on
no
top
guy.
was the guy saying like, bro, what are you doing? Or
Well, that's
whatever.
what I'm saying. At that moment, evidently, people around them, even though we can't see her face at that point, because she's obviously goofing around and smiling, and she's still smiling until, she gets taken down. Then we can't see her face, but that's obviously when somebody else can see her face, and they're like, hey, bro, obviously she's not, he's not kidding at that point.
Yeah.
'Cause
Right.
she probably is turning red or whatever to where, and the expression on her face, I'm assuming, changed for somebody like, to change their tone like that. Because everybody's goofing around, laughing. You can hear them all laughing and stuff around her. I can see a situation like that getting out of hand, but for somebody like that, Ezra Miller especially, to put your hands on somebody is a pretty stupid freaking move.
Especially if
Did it.
right?
Yeah, wait till she makes the first kind of move first. And I get it, to a point, but it's not like she's got her hands in her pocket. It's not like she's making any threatening notions. She's sitting there like a robot kind of thing, like, probably pretend, I'm sure the conversation up to that point was, yeah, I can kick your ass. I can kick everybody's ass in this bar. She's like, yeah, right. Like, whatever. I could kick your scrawny ass right here, right now, probably goofing around. He's like, you want to see my fucking scars? I'll show you all my scars from fighting. And she's probably like, yeah, I'm sure you could kick my ass, and walking up to him, and that's where he grabbed her,
Yeah.
Like, who really says that when they're drinking, though? Like, that's something straight out of a really bad B movie. Like, look at my scars.
Oh, I've DJ'd at bars. People get into stupid fucking fights over stupid shit at bars. Okay, that's
That's fair.
that's nothing. Google has single-handedly ended more fights than it's began in bars since it's been invented, because at least now, instead of the stupid fights, you get, just Google it and then the fight's over. So, but yeah, if it's not over a woman, it's generally over something stupid.
Jeez.
So
I just
Ryan
can't
Kinnell
believe the Flash.
says, I don't think he actually intended to hurt
Hey,
her
Ryan.
at all. He was drunk and messing around, but you can't do that. Then he proceeded to spit on people after the fact.
That's
So
the
we don't know-
problem, Ryan.
That's
Yeah.
the report. I don't know if that's what the person who posted the video said.
I mean, even if he
video
uses
that
the
far.
excuse that he was hopped up on drugs, obviously his actions surrounding this event don't support that. And I've heard other people, try to run the same kind of thing with, he's goofing around himself. It's like I just said, the problem was that the goofing around went out the window the moment he took the girl to the ground, and evidently other people around them felt the need to step in. And I don't think a club's going to want to call the cops on somebody like Ezra Miller and face really bad publicity if there's not a good reason. That's the only problem I see here from the outside looking in.
So I'm of this opinion that I think I don't know about this bar in Iceland. I think people are just kind of fed up with celebrity status in general, though.
Yeah.
And if you're treating someone like
Imagine
crap like
video?
that, you're just gonna be like, hey, like,
Well,
get that-
right, but
get out.
just as well as I do, it's a big deal for these clubs to have celebrities there.
Yeah.
Like, they literally pay celebrities to show up at their clubs so they can say, hey, so and so is here, and they can have the paparazzi show up, and it's a big deal, and they can charge a heavier cover charge at the door. It's all orchestrated that way. So I can't imagine that they wanted this to turn out this way.
I'm trying to think. We did some. No, the Supernatural guy. He went to a bar that he like owns apparently, and was like smashed and wasted. And then we saw Ben Affleck recently do that. I mean, I feel like we see. It's obviously Ben Affleck's not like beating people up. And I think the Supernatural guy did like have to like be
Yeah, Jared, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Jared Palanicki or
thank
whatever.
you. I was
He
not going
did-
to try and pronounce that.
He had to
Palanicki.
be removed, physically removed
Yeah, I
from
was about
like
to
the
call him
bar
Jared
that he actually
Pastrami.
owns a stake in or something like that, I believe.
Well, that's nothing new.
Yeah.
Celebrities have always gotten too fucked up and kicked out of places, but usually their publicity department handles that, and they smooth it over. And unless somebody does something really bad, like Screech and stabs somebody, then usually it just kind of goes away. They pay up enough people off. Yeah, that motherfucker stabbed somebody in a bar.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, Dustin Diamond went crazy.
Yeah. He totally went off
Ezra
the
may
deep
choke a bitch, but Screech will stab a motherfucker.
end. and then try and rebuild his image with some adult videos.
That was before that.
Yeah. He
No,
stabbed
wait.
someone after he.
I'm
yeah.
still he's
Stabbing
done
was after
more,
the
but
adult videos.
that was after. But I'm sure he's done some since he's been out of prison. Yeah, because he went to jail I think for like 3 years, but he only served I think like a year and a half here. Because that happened not close by, but in the same state around me, and and sadly, he's kind of a local celebrity around there, so I'm sure he thought he was something pretty special.
Yeah, it was in Texas, I think. Oh no, you're talking Screech. Sorry. Yeah,
Screech was in Wisconsin. It happened.
Wisconsin? Yeah, I knew, up north somewhere.
It was like kind of mid-southern, but yeah. I think it was Kenosha Bar or something like that. It happened to him.
Yeah, that definitely. Well, I don't think what's helping Ezra either is the fact that a lot of people, I think, are getting tired of celebrities right now. Right?
Well, I think especially him too. He did that. I'm gonna keep going back to it. That Gal Gadot interview is that's all I think of him, and just how cringy that was, and how he was trying to get her to say like down with the patriarchy or whatever he was trying to get her to say. And that's all I think of when I think of Ezra Miller now, and then just how horrible he is as the Flash. And that characterization as the Flash was just abominable.
Yeah, I am not a fan of that Flash.
Yep.
Too Peter Parker-y.
I think it's Bart. One of my buddies describes him as Bart. Bart.
There's that aspect, but I felt the same way. I felt like they were trying to capitalize on the whole homecoming / Civil War business with Spider-Man and Iron Man is what they were doing. It felt like to me, but you could be right.
With Batman.
Yeah.
As it gets in the car and like, what's your superpower? I'm rich. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. That whole movie had a ton of issues. A lot of issues, and I think he was like one of the worst parts of it personally.
Oh yeah, I didn't like him. Yeah, I biasly don't like him ahead of time.
They didn't even give him a good enough costume either.
Yeah, the costume was really bad too.
Dude, it's like he ran into a Kawasaki motorcycle.
I liked the cameo on the Flash just because it was cool to see that sort of movie TV link. But yeah, Ezra Miller is the worst. That costume is awful. I'd be excited to see somebody new as the Flash.
I think a lot of people have been. I mean, we've seen Flash rumors.
I want Lucas Till as the Flash.
I don't think we're going to get a Flash movie. I really don't.
I think it's done.
I think so that's what
we're
this
definitely
rumor
not getting a
says,
Flash
too.
movie.
This rumor isn't just that Ezra might be out, but they're out also contemplating whether to axe the entire movie.
Right. Well, that's what I was just saying on Mead before we got here. I was saying like this movie was probably not going to happen before this, and even if they're not going to recast it, they're not going to start over. Flash, like you were saying just a little bit ago, I just don't think he's a big enough character to really kind of carry his own film at this point, and the show's doing well enough to why would you want to rock that boat anyway? Just leave it alone.
I think you could carry a movie if you jumped Grant Gustin to.
That's a little different, yeah. But that's what I was saying to begin with. I don't know why they never just did that, because then in two shots you tie in your cinematic universe with your television universe, and then B, you already have a backstory, so you don't really need to go into too much of what the Flash is all about, even though they didn't anyway in the Justice League. But still, it was just, there were so many people who were so attached to that Flash already. It made sense.
Yeah, especially the first couple seasons were actually pretty decent. Right. When they kind of had it as like a cop drama with the Flash like solving crimes. Both as the Flash.
Yeah,
and
it became too team oriented too quickly.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the CW though. I mean, they do that with all their shows. It
Yeah.
all becomes like this teen drama. What was that movie? Gilmore Girls ripoff, right? You got almost all the same similar
Yeah.
shows. That's why.
Well, the biggest flaw with the CW stuff is that the hero can't be a hero on their own. Like, the whole awesome part about the comic book characters was that they were doing it on themselves. They didn't have a support system or a support group right away. They were figuring it out on their own. And they were
Batman
able to
Year
pull
One
off
is like one of
a
the
win
greatest
as a
comic book
result.
stories ever, and it's Batman just by himself.
Well, Script, you're right. Script Doctor, you're
Yeah,
right,
like,
because
and he
they
barely
see their-
helps.
Well, I was gonna say they see their heroes as a collectivist creation, right? It is not just Oliver Queen, right? It has to be everyone around Oliver that makes him the Green Arrow. It's not just the Flash; it's everyone's
him.
the Flash, right?
Exactly. You got the genius hacker that solves everything for, through computer magic. You got the doctor who does all the medical stuff. And then the Flash is just the guy that runs fast and, actually does push people. Like, he doesn't do anything inventive himself. Like, he created, before I passed out from the last episode that aired, I think he created an AI that goes into, like, a hearing aid.
What?
And I'm like, what? This is like a revolutionary technology. Why are you sitting on something like that? And it just doesn't feel Flash. Like, what does Flash need an AI for? Like, he's the Flash.
They know their demographic though. That's the CW demographic. It's the 15 to 24-year-olds. It's the people who graduated Nickelodeon but are not adult enough for like network TV. So they cater all their shows to.
I want to disagree on that. I think the beginning of the Flash, you brought in a ton of people to the CW. That show was getting huge ratings.
Yeah, the first couple seasons of the Flash and even Arrow weren't that bad. It was once they started doing feelings in hallways and shit like that. That's
right, and I will say
when
that
their budget didn't grow. Yeah,
it's when they weren't being the CW. Is you had like huge audiences, and then I will agree that then they went and went to their old MO, and then that's what you get. You get people tune out.
Yeah, and then it also kind of suffered a lot of the Smallville issue too, and that's where, and that was one thing that kind of drove me out of between the feelings and hallways on Flash and the Freak of the Week. That got really old, and not so much the Freak of the Week.
And Lana Lang doing everything.
Well, yeah, but every Freak of the Week on the Flash had to be a speed demon of some type, and it was like I think it had so many speeders. In that fucking universe, it's more like you got to ask yourself after a while, who doesn't have speed and who does?
That was like they did Savitar right after like Reverse Flash.
Well, it went Reverse Flash into Zoom into Savitar.
Yeah.
It
was all speed where like the Flash actually does have like Captain Cole has a pretty decent rogues gallery where they could have like really developed a lot of those big names like Mirror Master, Top. Like we saw them, but they were always like one and done kind of episodes. And then Captain Cold obviously got a little bit bigger of a.
I'm sorry, I know.
Well, they didn't want to develop that. They wanted to develop their Dawson's Creek element to the show.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it turned into Dawson's Creek, and the too much of this. Everybody has this power now, so nobody's fucking special.
And we're all the Flash. You're not just the
exactly.
Flash.
And Script Doctor's right. That was the problem also with Arrow, is when and they even have scenes, I think, similar in both series, where they have an episode or a run or a story where they have to turn around and say to their crew, I need you guys because I'm not the Arrow or I'm not the Flash without you.
No, not the crew. The woman.
Well, mainly the woman. But yes, you know what I mean. Yeah. And the crew generally consists of one or two women, if not more.
And it's such a weird tactic because, like, the first season of Arrow, he loses in that season finale. Like, that's like a really risky thing to do, and they pulled it off. And with the Flash, I mean, I thought they started going downhill by like the third episode because in the pilot they kind of did a Sherlock approach to it where he's actually investigating and doing stuff, and they completely abandoned it by the second episode. And you're just like, well, what the heck's going on now? And then they waste Iris West for like 6 seasons or something. Like, she's supposed to be a journalist, and she doesn't do any journalism like at all. Like, and I'm
they kind of put her. Yeah, they try to turn her into like it's like a weird thing, like because she follows the Flash. You're right, for like the first little bit, and then she just kind of. Well, I mean, they have their little bit, but Yeah, I kind of fell out of the show because all the characterization went to shit. And I think the one that really, and it kind of sucks because I think Kevin Smith directed it, but the one finale for that one season where he goes back in the time and it's all the doppelganger shit, and then because it started out good and then it just went to hell afterwards, and I don't remember what happened from there on. So that's why I don't think I've watched anything since.
That's because he changed the timeline. You forgot.
Yeah, there was some shit, and because then he come back and she didn't know him anymore, and something else was going on, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about this show anymore.
I dropped out after Sabotage.
Yeah, they also missed a really good opportunity because they had Tom Cavanaugh play Eobard Thawne. First Flash, when it would have been far more interesting if he just played a corrupted older version of Barry Allen, and it was basically a Flash versus himself.
They did do that in season 3. That's what Savitar is.
Yeah, they did it with Savitar, but they did it like that was just crap. Like it would have, because Tom Cavanaugh, I've seen him act before. I've actually met him a couple of times. He's really good at his job.
No, that's the guy that played the doctor who was lying to him the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, see, I like this. I liked him too, but
I liked him too. But I thought it would have been more interesting if they just made him like older Barry Allen, because he's got the same body frame as the guy. He's got the same color of hair. You could kind of believe it, and
yeah, because that's when they that's another thing that took me out, is when they were like, oh, he changed his face and shit to look like this dead guy and all this other. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, that kind of shit.
Exactly. And then the guy that they got to play the Reverse Flash, who I think was Captain Love from like the Zorro film, he was actually pretty good.
Yeah, he was good too.
Yeah,
but he's never used, even though like the Eobard Thawne
on Legends of Tomorrow, right?
Gets a big role in Legends in season 2 as Reverse Flash.
Yeah, they used him in Legends.
So he gets one season that's not even a part of the show where he's against the villain, his own hero. He's just against a bunch of the C team.
Yeah.
And I tried to watch that fucking show. I couldn't get more than like 4 episodes.
It was I like the setup for that, where you go to different time frames to try and like
Me
solve
too.
what the problem is. That's like a really, really cool setup.
It's also a cheap one because you just go into pre-established sets on the lot and shoot.
But I think the way that the team interacted was hard to get around.
That I think was the issue. Yeah,
quirky.
Well, the chemistry wasn't really
dialogue and chemistry. Yeah, it picked up a little bit, I think, between them. Once you kind of like got you accepted that it was like going to be a little bit more campier. I think I haven't watched anything of Legends since like the 2nd season. I think the 2nd season is where they have like Rip Hunter is like running the Time Lords or whatever, and he's like hunting down the Legends or what. And is that the 3rd season?
3.
This is how nobody wants a fucking Flash movie. We're talking about the other Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even good.
Nope.
Well, it was. I think like
being the operative word.
Yeah. I think it was good. There were. I think Grant Gustin does a really good. Well, I haven't seen what he does lately, but he did a really good job of being Barry Allen to me. Like I said, I like the CSI aspect, especially in that pilot episode where he was actually like having to solve crimes as a CSI, and then balance doing the stuff as like learning his abilities as the Flash as well. And like I like that struggle between his like superhero and his work life, and having to figure out like keeping his identity secret. I thought that's a lot of cool stuff.
It's a CW show. They don't even care about secret identities.
Right. Well, I think they did a better job in the original '90s Flash, and there's a time where I was like, I wish they did more. But then I look back at it, it's probably a good thing it didn't get picked up for a 2nd season, because the budget would have been slashed so badly that the show probably would have went so campy bad that it would have made Batman and Robin look good. But
you talking about the '90s Flash in the Crisis crossover if he shows up.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was even on the show. I did like that aspect. I did love that aspect that they had him playing Barry's father too.
Yeah,
that was cool.
And that's what sucks about the CW, because they're literally sitting on gold a lot of times with these shows. Like it's right there for them just to put together, and they just keep fucking it up every single time. I don't understand how these people keep getting work. Like in the regular world, you would get fired for screwing up this much.
Like,
right?
look at the reception that Brandon Routh got putting back on the Superman suit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And what do they do? Instead of giving him his own Superman series, they turn around and they make Lois and Superman. I've seen the fucking script. I can't even read the damn thing. It's so bad.
It's like
Script Doctor. I think you read it, didn't you?
It's really bad.
Really?
I did.
I read,
did read it, and I also learned that Emmanuel. I also learned that Emmanuel Cherokee is playing Lana Lang. So they got an actor who's actually not only better than the woman playing Lois Lane, but also like 1,000 times more gorgeous, playing the ex-girlfriend of Clark in the Superman show. And nothing to anything to the actor who does play actual Lois Lane. She just doesn't do it for me with regards to the attraction. She's not like a Terry Hatcher-esque, and she's not Margot Kidder-esque, or Kate Bosworth for that matter, or even Amy Adams. She's just kind of like a plain take on Lois. She doesn't seem to have the fire in her that the character would require. So that I mean, gosh, that show is gonna be a lemon.
Yeah, we've got
because they don't even make Superman in it.
We've got 2 exclusives on the Bounty in the Comics channel about the villains of the Superman and Lois pilot. You should check those out. And like Script Doctor said, Superman isn't Superman at all. I think let's just talk about it right now.
Shorty, man.
Yeah,
he lies. He's a liar. Superman is a liar in the pilot episode of.
Oh God! Seriously,
Superman
doesn't lie.
The man that stands for truth, justice, and the American way. What is the first word? Truth. He lies to his kids throughout the entire pilot episode.
Yeah.
Up until the last act, he doesn't tell they don't know that he's Superman at all.
Okay, well,
and they're like 14 years old.
Still,
the worst part
figured it
here,
out.
What? That seems
the worst part here.
How he always is.
So the conflict is that Ma Kent passes away, and she basically mortgaged the farm a couple of times to help all the other neighboring farms in Smallville. And so Clark decides to move back to the farm and then run it normally to pay off the debt. And then it kind of stomps a little bit on Pa Kent not really being the hero that helped shape Superman. It was mostly Martha doing it. So Superman's now a mama's boy with a father that was kind of there, who passed years prior. So and then also like the town calls
like the movie
Martha Kent the real hero as opposed to the Kents as a family being actually inspired.
I think one of the other big conflicts is that his sons are trying to he has 2 sons, twin boys, and they're trying to figure out like what's going on with their dad, and they're discovering that he hasn't he's basically hidden the truth from their entire lives.
He's done that a lot though in so many stories. When he retires being Superman, he has a family and they don't know. Connor didn't know John didn't know for a while. He didn't know
these kids are like 16.
His powers were developing.
Yeah, I mean, I understand him keeping the secret to a point, but yeah, by that point, you'd think they'd have figured it out, or at least you should have told them. Like
when they got old enough to know how to keep a secret, that's probably when.
Yeah, because you got to be careful. You got to be like, look, you might notice at some point you might get some strange fucking powers. Be careful not to kill anybody.
Imagine you're 13 and all of a sudden you find out your dad is like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Are you really going to keep that a secret and not tell anybody? Especially in a podunk, well, not podunk, but in a very rural.
Have you watched Ozark? Those kids keep secrets.
If we want to use a real life example, didn't that really happen to Schwarzenegger though?
Yeah, that did.
Well, his daughter didn't let anyone know that she was her daughter, Schwarzenegger's daughter, for a long time.
Oh wow.
No, and then the whole there's the whole villain is obviously I mean, you guys can you can watch the video to figure that out. I'm not going to spoil that one.
No, I mean, I get the whole lying thing though. You're right, because it has always been kind of like an unsaid rule that yes, Clark and Superman are technically 2 different people, except for to his family, those who are closest to him, and those are the only ones that generally know who he really is. Oh, we lost Script Doctor.
Oh no. No, I think I don't know. For me, like when I think of Superman, I think truth, justice, and the American way, and the fact that he's gonna like not tell his kids that he's
That's what I'm saying.
that he's
Yeah.
Superman. That's just kind of weird to me.
I don't know. I mean, I have to agree.
That happens in every superhero story, so I think I'm all right with it.
Yeah.
I think it's the way that they make it out like Superman is the bad guy. The way the script is written is that because he's lying to his kids, he is like he's being like he's in the wrong.
That frame it.
Even white man aliens aren't safe. Jesus.
What did you say, Spencer?
Frame it.
I think he cut out a lot.
Or a bad way to frame it. Sorry.
It's a bad. I definitely think it's a bad way to frame it. And then they're like really disappointed in him as a father. Which I mean, I don't know. I get it's like I think we saw it in the chat here. It's just another typical Hollywood show showing a bad father, and Superman he's supposed to be Superman, right?
Well, he's a bad father. Paul Kent did nothing. It was all Ma Kent. And the value of the father is downgraded again. It's just same trope and tools that they've been using for years with these shows. It's a horrible, right? And they're willing to butcher a character like Superman in order to get their point across, which is that they probably believe that fathers aren't necessary.
Oh, it gets even worse because Lana Lang is married to an alcoholic fireman.
Yeah.
Okay, so the people who stop our homes from burning are alcoholics. Gotcha.
And he goes
alcoholics and also terrible parents because he just doesn't understand his daughter, and his daughter is going to obviously have a crush on one of the two sons. So,
and he's like a Trump voter, and he's like the bad guy too.
Oh God!
Seen as a bad guy because he supports a
Lex Luthor.
Bruno Mannheim's thing is coming in there, or is it Morgan Edge? No, it's Morgan Edge.
Morgan Edge. He supports Morgan Edge coming in and redeveloping Smallville because it's because all the jobs have been shipped overseas, and he's bringing jobs back and like opening up the mines and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Clark Kent was fired from the Daily Planet after Chief Perry White retired or something like that. Because that's why they're in Smallville.
No, I didn't think he got fired. I thought
he got fired.
Lois is working
laid off, really.
Yeah, Morgan Edge has bought the Daily Planet and is like not letting Lois run the story she wants to run.
You guys are lucky you didn't write this, because if we were in the same room right now, I'd slap you.
Fair enough.
Oh God, I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of better stories to tell for Superman being a father than what they started with this.
Well, again, they started with, instead of writing the plot, writing the story, okay, we're going to write the story and then embed our messaging or whatever. They started with their messaging and then tried to develop a story around it. And it's obvious as hell that that's what they're doing. That's what makes these shows terrible.
I do think the reason why they casted the other actress, though, script doctor, as Lana Lang, is because they're going to use her as to try and bait Superman away from.
Of course.
Well, not only that, she's a Canadian actor. She doesn't work outside of outside of Canada. She rarely goes on location across the border. So that's the other thing. Like, yeah, this really hot kind of like ethnically questionable actor. What was that?
I said ambiguous is probably the word you're looking for.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, ambiguous. Thank you. I'm quite tired today. Yes, ethnically ambiguous actress.
Yeah, she's like Moroccan.
Yeah, she's gorgeous, and she's also really good. But she's been in a lot of like terrible Canadian movies where she's the best part in them. I think the only one she actually did in that she left Canada for was Adam and Eve with Michael Douglas's kid, and that was like a National Lampoon's comedy, I think.
Oh,
really,
God.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
All right,
So-
that's
All
great.
right, so we got a super chat here from Drew Taylor, who's usually with us on the panel. He says the panel rules. Apologies, I made it late.
I can bop out if he wants to come in.
Sure, if he wants to.
That's
do
up
that.
to him.
Yeah, did you hear that, Drew? If you want to come in, just join in.
How do you make good characters so bad? That's like a talent, right?
Well, it's the lazy act of deconstruction. Because just think of it like a home. You always find out more about the house when you take it apart, and you always see more of the house when it's lying in ruins, as opposed to like building something on top of it. I mean, that's the logic that they have.
I don't know. I did a better story of this already years ago, and I threw it away because Superman Returns came out. And it was kind of deconstructing Superman then, because the basis was, Lois got pregnant with the baby. She had the baby, but in having the baby, she died. So
single dad Superman.
Yeah, single dad Superman. So Clark stops being Superman, but he also at the same time he resents the child for killing Lois. So he's got kind of this whole like depression thing going on and it kind of cuts then to the kid about 12, and dad's not really paying attention to him, just doing his daily routine just to get through life. And then finally he meets Lex Luthor, and Luthor, knowing who Superman is and the powers and all that shit and who Clark is and all that kind of crap, takes him under his wing, and of course as soon as Clark starts to say, well, I don't want you hanging around that guy, he's nothing but trouble, kind of crap, well, of course that just drives the kid more to him. But the thing is, this kid's just as strong as he is, so it's kind of like setting up this whole thing where Clark's got to fight his own son at one point, kind of thing, and to try and win his own son back from Lex Luthor, because he realizes he's been neglecting him all these years, and it's the same kind of concept, but it's even infinitely more interesting. And you get a redemption story for Clark because he realizes he fucked up by, negating his son all these years, and he let him go down this path where he became this super villain, basically, that's unstoppable. Other than himself.
Yeah, where grief actually corrupts his own judgment. Because as I've seen that happen in real life, it's very human emotion to explore. So that's actually a pretty interesting take.
Sounds like Injustice.
It kind of was, and then that came out too, so that didn't help. So I never really pursued it any farther than that. But that was kind of my concept. Was like, it was just like he was manipulated by Luthor to being this super villain, and it's only his father who can save him and redeem him, basically, by saving himself.
Yeah, all you have to do is just throw in a little thing where Lex Luthor owned the hospital that Lois gave birth into, and just did something so that she wouldn't survive the labor.
Yep.
Yeah, you could do that, but you don't even really have to.
You don't have to, no, but you can
just the simple fact, that he's Kryptonian, half Kryptonian, was too much for her to handle when he was born, is all.
Yeah, she needed to be under a red sunlight lamp. But to request that at the hospital will be raising questions. Well, why do you need a super specific red sunlight lamp from LexCorp? That doesn't he just use that on Superman? It's like, a lot of questions. No right, kryptonite epidural.
We're gonna switch topics here. Let's talk about Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Spencer had a interesting article about Resident Evil 3. And a review from the website Rock, Paper, Shotgun, I believe.
That's them. That is unfortunately them.
And where is it?
Kotaku?
There it is.
Bad.
Here we go. Let me just add this.
Kotaku's amazing. I love them.
So, you want to take the lead on this, Spencer?
Yeah, so basically the story here is that in Rock Paper Shotgun's review of Resident Evil 3, they, it starts out like a very normal video game review. The author, Nate Crowley, talks about the game system, the atmosphere, the graphics. It looks great. And then for some reason in the middle of the review, he takes a moment to switch gears and talk about how the game glorifies violence against women, specifically Nemesis, because he spends the entire game attacking Jill. And then he also takes issue with the fact that she's attractive because the mere fact because she is attractive, he sees all of her sort of damage animations, getting hit and thrown against a wall, getting parasites shoved down her neck. He sees them all in sort of an erotic light, and kind of he calls out Capcom saying this is so fetishistic and gross, and calling Nemesis, saying Nemesis has sleazy Dom energy. Just a really weird diversion on, that's not what's going on in the game at all. Jill is just a character. Carlos, who's a male, gets the same treatment. Leon in the last game got the same treatment. It's just a really weird, I feel like it's projection. It's a really weird bit of projection.
Do you think he has the Dom energy because of his design?
Because of his design, and then because
that's what he looks like in the movie.
Yeah, and because he likes to hit Jill. But I mean, he's a monster. He's trying to kill her. Of course he's going to want to hit Jill.
Like, this guy's design has been around for a long time, right?
Yeah.
It's even less Dommy now, because in the old games he was literally wearing a leather trench suit or a trench coat, and now it's like a garbage, body bag kind of stapled to his body.
He's got the Missy Elliott thing going on.
Yeah, and then he's in the movie too, right? Isn't he in the second movie or the first movie?
He's in one of them. I lost track of what number is which movie.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah, I think and he's got the trench coat on in that too. It's a recognizable character even with the changes to him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just really weird that he would. It does feel like a lot of projection, because there's nothing inherently sexual about what Jill is doing. She just kind of exists. Oh hey, Drew. Drew's probably got a good word up on this one.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, I got 2 words. Hack journalist. I mean, this guy obviously he doesn't understand the franchise, nor does he understand how to do a gaming review in any sort of way. I mean, how do you go off on this tangent? I mean, you really have to reach if you think that this just gonna single this kind of stuff out. I mean, it's a huge reach. I mean, did he turn on Hellraiser in the background while he was watching this game? I mean, I don't know.
We hope so. We hope he is, and it's more than a reach. I mean, he's literally pulling this idea right out of his ass.
Oh yeah, he is, dude.
Didn't Resident Evil? When did the original Resident Evil 3 come out?
Like 1999.
Yeah,
right.
It's around 99.
Game is PlayStation 1, right?
The story is 20 years old, right?
No,
yeah.
3 was out on that was PS2, wasn't it?
No, that was PS1 and Dreamcast.
Boom. Yes, I remember that.
Because I remember Resident Evil 2. That was PS1.
That was PS1 with the big tall box.
Yeah.
This was PlayStation 1 too.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I didn't know if the PS2 was out by the time that came out. But the thing is yeah, I mean, obviously he doesn't know the franchise, and you have to be a complete noob to reach something like that.
That seems to be the problem with a lot of these people who decide to opine on these subjects. They don't know the franchise. They're literally pulling out the cracks. They can't even take a minute to, Wikipedia something and, educate themselves a little bit about it. Instead, again, it goes back to what we were talking about with the Flash and the CW shows. They have an idea. They have a subject that they want to build their narrative around instead of the other way around, right? So he wanted to write a story about women and violence, and he's like, oh, Resident Evil, there we go. I'll just build it right around the game. Because, of course, we all know Nemesis only hits women named Jill Valentine.
Yeah,
is he only killing one woman? He's only going after one woman, right? So how is it really violence against?
And it's not even just one woman in particular. In the paragraph that we've got up on the screen right now, the author even admits that you also play as Carlos, a male, and you get the same amount of violence. See, you get to see loads of lingering close-ups of a man's neck getting devoured like a late-night burger too. There is no monsters don't discriminate. They don't discern. They just attack. Equal opportunity infection.
No, this guy took the opportunity. What this guy, the writer, took the opportunity to do here is be a virtue signaling simp, because he's like, oh my God, I will fall on my sword for you, maidens. I mean, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. I mean,
the type of dude that watch Xena Warrior Princess and get pissed that Ares keeps trying to screw with her every other episode. You know what I mean? It makes no sense.
One thing that I've seen recently with a lot of these game reviewers, they will actually review the game but they'll usually give it a positive score. I think this guy, he gave it a pretty positive score, right, Spencer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, he didn't give it a score, but ultimately he liked it. He recommended it at the end of it.
He gives it like, this is what they're doing now. They give they pretty much like say that the game is like, so before what they would do is they would just like trash the game and based off of this, like saying that it has like women and violence and the game sucks because of that. They're getting smarter now. They don't trash the game altogether now. They will give the game a positive review, but then they'll add in this stuff into their review.
Because then it gives them the ability to go, oh no, I am a fan of this. Look, I loved Resident Evil 3. Of course I have the gamer cred or whatever you want to call it to criticize this.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing now.
No, these dudes have no gamer cred. It's a bunch of trash.
Well, that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it. It's a trend. I'm seeing that. I know you've covered a bunch of these in the past, Spencer, and I think editing them, this is what they're doing now. I think maybe 2 years ago they weren't doing this. You saw like just complete negative reviews because you would people saying like it's got problematic aspects to the story or whatever other like buzzword they wanted to use. And now it's like, oh, the game is actually really good, but I still need to virtue signal my politics so people don't like think that I'm one of those people.
Well, no, John, I can tell you this. Aside of maybe two other game journalists I've seen, the only actual like people that know video games that can write about video games and talk about them in a normal way that actually do good game journalism, you have on this sap. So yeah, you know. I would say like most of these sites hire these SJW hacks and they're terrible too, because A, they're terrible gamers, B, they don't know anything about breaking down a video game. I mean, it's just awful.
It's about as bad as Ezra Miller choking that woman, right?
Yeah, well, you know, this dude probably has a fetish. He probably wished Ezra Miller would choke him.
Mark Lasser just joined us. He was asking if we had already finished talking about Ezra Miller. I had to chime that in there. No, yeah, I think that there's a big issue. I think there's also we're seeing some issues with the Final Fantasy VII leaks. We're seeing this with Last of Us as well. There are issues that gamers do have with games that are legitimate. This one is a completely illegitimate problem. Like we said, like monsters don't discriminate, and it shows in the game that they don't discriminate. They're going around beating up both the male and the female characters that are playable. I don't think I've ever seen, or I don't think I've ever played a game that has like specifically had some kind of theme about like violence against women, or what else does he say? Oh, sorry, I switched out.
Against women.
The femdom or whatever of the character because of the way the character's designed or whatever. Yeah, it's utterly ridiculous.
I want to know what this guy would have been doing. Like, what would he have done if people forced him to play Friday the 13th, the game or something?
He would cry.
It's
probably.
You know what's even crazy about this? He's talking that it's violence against women because Nemesis is hunting down Jill, but Jill is like blowing up all these monsters too, right? Like,
yeah,
you play Jill and you're just destroying them.
Well, he takes away her power when he says that, right? He's like he's completely disregarding the fact that as a woman, she's standing up against monsters, little creatures that regular people would crumble under.
Yeah,
oh, look, this fair lass, she's falling apart because this monster's after her. It's horrible.
Which, by the way, let's not even get into the can of worms that they redid Jill's look for the entire thing, and
Resident Evil tried to cater to them, and they still are whining about it. Exactly.
The devs came out and said that they redid her because, Jill being over sexualized doesn't help the character. And it's like, BS, it doesn't help the character. Everybody loved Jill Valentine. She was smoking hot.
That same interview, they said that Jill was redesigned to be more realistic. You know, if you're running into combat, you wouldn't be wearing a mini skirt. You'd be wearing
heard that from Mortal Kombat too.
Yeah, but then at the very, spoiler alert for Resident Evil 3, at the very end of the game, Jill, a tiny 108-pound woman with body damage at that point, from going through the entire game, essentially, she picks up a giant magnetic rail cannon that cracks the ground when she shoots it and wields it all by herself.
Yeah.
It's the same argument they gave when they redid the designs for the women in Mortal Kombat. They turned them into troll dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, we want to make women more realistic. And I'm like, what women have you seen? Like, what are they?
Yeah.
Are they finding inspiration from what they're looking for under bridges or something?
I don't understand it. It's wildly baffling to me where you have the rise of kind of like Instagram babes or whatever, all the Twitch streams and all that stuff. The e-girls, the rise of the e-girls, Kim Kardashian, et cetera.
Workers in America, right?
And where you literally see this like kind of like cottage industry of this like blooming, and like video games are like regressing the other way.
Well,
they're trying to like not show female characters as looking attractive, gorgeous, and sexy anymore.
Well, Spencer, you made the comment that they wanted to make her more realistic. What gets me is the fact that they Valentine, not this last game, but the game before, was based on a real woman.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
based on a real woman here too. They use a different model.
Yeah, they just use a different model, but they're acting like women don't look like this. It's kind of
it's just the ones that go to like those SJW rallies that look like that.
Well, I think that's where they're getting a lot of their inspirations from when they're complaining. I mean, have you seen Shiva in the latest Mortal Kombat?
Oh yeah, dude,
like a pug dog.
They're terrible. I'm telling you.
It's not just video games too. I mean, we saw like we talked about I think we talked about this last week. The America redesign. They like she actually has like some curves to her now, and people were all getting like pissy about it. American Child, people were all getting pissy about her.
And what kills me, John, is the fact that they called people who think the way we do, we're unrealistic or we hate women.
We're misogynist.
We don't hang around women, but obviously we've actually have women in our lives and we've been around them because we can recognize women look like that. Take a trip down to Florida where our buddy Phil is at, and you'll see plenty of women who look a certain shape. Right? You go anywhere in this country, in California, right, Donald, and you see that. So where they're seeing these women are, where they seeing this version of women, I don't know.
Go to a Comic-Con, man. There's gorgeous women cosplaying these characters all over. Like,
there were some
Poison Ivy once.
There were some hotties at the convention. I'll say that.
Again, they're just trying to make them get those thirst points for those colleagues of theirs that are never going to give them a time of day. Why they go back home and pay for their only friend.
These are the same dudes that will tip a Twitch girl $500. I mean,
what? Seriously, what?
Well, you think I made that comment in Twitter, Script Doctor? I was like, I'll start friends if that's the case. I mean,
Script Doctor. Last night, it was funny. Last night, I went on a stream with Wes Moody, right? And we were laughing because we were like, hey, let's see what's going on with the Twitch thoughts. And we randomly went on this one girl's stream and was looking at it for a minute. This girl had $1,000 goal to get her hair done. Let me repeat that. $1,000 goal to get her hair done.
Did she reach it?
The sad thing was, as we were watching it, her goal went all the way up to $987. It was like almost there.
So she got it.
She got it.
Cost $1,000 for her to do her hair?
Because dudes were simping money at her in the chat.
I believe it.
See,
For
why
nothing.
spend your money on Twitch thoughts when
100% believe
you
it.
have a bottle of Dums?
They had a bottle of Dums, bro.
Unless they're laundering money for the mob, I don't buy why would anyone would give money to a Twitch.
Well, no, if you had common sense, SD, obviously you can put two and two together and, Jesus, that's ludicrous. Not the rapper, by the way. It's ludicrous that there's like a $1,000 goal to get your hair done. At the most, the woman's paying $37 to get her a hairdo.
Not
So
at most. It definitely goes higher than that, but $1,000 is excessive.
$1,000 is like an expert designer, hairstylist.
That's
If you
like
want to do a good job
wow.
for get a woman's get her hair done, she's looking to drop at least $250.
Yeah,
But these white knight type of dudes, they just will sit there and tip the fedora all day, throw money at these girls, and it's like, come on,
Man, what we need is some Blade Runner shit going on so they can buy themselves some synthetics and get it over with. This is sad.
Cyberpunk 20. What is it? Cyberpunk 2099.
77.
77. Yeah, 77.
They need some robo love because at this point in time, these people are freaking me the hell out with their crap.
Yeah. Well,
Mark
it's
says $1,000 is what Mrs. Nerdrotic charges. She is a hairdresser, but she does it for the folks out in San Francisco. All right,
They can afford it.
oh yeah. So we're talking about this. We got some horrible designs for these Star Wars characters. So they introduced this character named
Jedi Karen.
Yeah, Jedi.
He wants to speak to
Jedi Karen.
Emperor's manager.
So Avar Chris, I assume that's how you say it.
I think it's Avar, like ever, like how Doom Clock says ever.
Oh.
Avar.
Jedi Knight, I'd like to
Because she's the
speak with your
greatest
manager,
Avar.
Avar Chris.
the brightest, most noble example of Jedihood.
what the
Jedihood? What? What is that?
Well, they're missing the word
Yeah.
knight because it's Jedi knighthood.
Yeah.
hell?
She's the best of the best.
Oh my god.
So here's her official. Oh, Raphael's showing up. Raphael's much better to look at.
Exactly.
Ever is the brightest, most noble example of Jedihood. She always tries to see the good in people and situations and never puts herself first. She's invigorated about life on the frontier and the challenges it brings, and is an inspiration for those who work with her. She's compassionate, not dogmatic, and always ready to sacrifice herself over others. Ever Chris is the best of the best.
Almost
So-
the bestest Avar.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Do these ideas come from like a factory? Do they, stand and everything?
Okay,
And
wow.
This is the
That's
best
a terrible
of the best.
stance.
Wow.
This is the best of the best.
Why does this chick have a long chin, man? Does she beat people in the face with her chin?
She looks like
No, it's not that. Look how she's standing. She's
Oh,
leaning
goodness.
back away from her hips.
Yeah, it's so horrible.
Okay, because the lightsaber is there, so that way she wants to speak to the manager. Pronouns are they, them. That's all you need to know, right? And of course, Ava was born Evan, right? So that's all you need to know.
Oh god, yeah. She got that male face, man. What's going on? What is going on? Why is this a Jedi? Why?
Yeah, so this is their design for this character. Pretty horrendous.
Did somebody draw this while they were stoned?
No, this is what happens when you.
a stone person would draw something better.
Yeah, you know what? You're right about that, Spencer.
Is this Luciano Vecchio? Nobody? Nobody?
It's actually a crossover with the New Warriors. Here we go.
It's got like the dimensions of a board.
Tehillium says that this is actually the main character in a new IP from Lucasfilm called Chin Wars.
So Jay Leno's descendants were Jedi.
Yeah, apparently.
But yeah, so this is a pretty awful looking Jedi. This is the bestest ever, and this is what you can expect for the future of Star Wars. Fortunately, Stephen Wayne decided to do a redesign, and I think she looks a lot better.
Yeah, there we go.
We got some hip curvature. We got an actual chest.
Got a
That's
She-Ra
like Kingdoms of Amalur right there.
Hair's a lot longer. The cloak is no longer covering up her neck. We get to see some skin.
I like the mantle to the cloak too. That's nice.
Yeah, the clasps here. Yeah.
Yeah. Now see
Still
that
has the tabard.
Now that's definitely you can buy that as a Jedi. Not
Different pose.
Creature. Good God.
The way
the pose
she's
is more
standing.
natural there. My God.
Yeah, more natural pose.
Like that's a graceful drop versus I want to talk to your manager.
We literally saw. I feel like we saw Mace Windu use this pose when he was fighting Sidious. He uses this pose right when Sidious has the lightsaber up in his. Like he has it extended, but it doesn't actually reach him. And then Windu like backs out and has his lightsaber down. So yeah, this is like a pose we've seen actual Jedi use.
It's as if someone who's a fan of Star Wars put this together. Go figure.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, that actually looks really good. And we're trying to convince him on Twitter to do the entire, the rest of the other design, redesign all the other characters.
Do the entire comic book?
Yeah.
Well, so
it's a novel, isn't it?
Well, so the High Republic is the publishing initiative that crosses it from comics and books. I think this character is in the books.
We will never see that comic come out.
I'm not sure. If she's like she might be the featured character for Kavan Scott's High Republic series. I'm not sure though. But obviously, this is Kathleen Kennedy's answer to Star Wars not having any comics or novels to base their content off
material.
Yeah,
so they're trying to create source material.
Like that never happened. I never read any of them. That was a lie.
But yeah, it's just. I mean, it looks so much better. Even we got this little like sash here to like draws your eyes to her hips.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you can tell that she has some hips, like most women do. But yeah, no, it looks really good. He kept the same color scheme, so even like it's not like you can tell that it's not the color scheme. I don't know. I'm not really like I think he did change her hair a little bit. It's a little more brown than the other one was a little more blonde, I felt like. But the one thing that I do find interesting is the color scheme that they're using. Because if you look at all the other characters, I'm not going to bring them up right now, but most of them have this gold, brown, yellowish color scheme that they're all using. So that seems to be kind of like the Jedi's adopted color for that. I'm getting some feedback. Am I the only one hearing that?
I don't hear any feedback.
Okay.
Neither do I.
Except from our viewers in the chat.
Boom.
A younger Chad Yoda picking up chicks. Yeah, that could be the case.
No, yeah, they do seem to forget during this era that Yoda exists or that anybody exists.
Okay, Tom says, I'm not the only one who's hearing this. Tom says that he hears a faint echo too, and so does Donna. All right, I'm not hearing things. But yeah, no. So Yoda, if you remember from Empire Strikes Back, he tells Luke Skywalker that I've trained Jedi for over 100 years. And he says like he's explaining why he wouldn't train Luke to Obi-Wan. Or he says like I can't train him, and then Luke's like I am ready, and he's like I've trained Jedi for over 100 years. You're a knob, basically. You're not. You can't do it. You're too impatient. And this High Republic is supposed to be set 200 years before the events of the Phantom Menace, which means that Yoda would be around and would have trained Ever Chris, and she wouldn't be the best of the best, given that Yoda is around, right? I mean, Yoda's pretty much what you think of as the epitome of a Jedi.
Yeah.
I mean, He's like
Baby
the
Yoda.
OG Jedi Master.
I mean, I saw some people saying like, oh, because he was around when the Republic fell, they were blaming him for that, and I'm just like, I don't know.
There was
I'm
a
not.
guy called Anakin, right?
Yeah,
He kind of cut some kids up like they were made out of string cheese.
Or I mean, Sidious. He's kind of there.
Sidious.
You could definitely
yeah.
blame him.
It's almost like he was outmaneuvered for a little bit, but it wasn't like he completely gave up. He was still there on Dagobah. He does eventually train Luke. And then Luke, obviously, with the help of Vader, deposes Palpatine. But yeah, I just think it's ridiculous that they're trying to, like, the way they're labeling her as like marketing this character. It's already like she's just already super OP. There's like no flaws.
Original character, do not steal.
She's gonna
Yeah.
use Force Lightnings, like some Avatar shit. It's gonna be great.
Oh my dude,
It'll be Force lightning that heals you.
Yes.
which is hilarious because on their freaking website, when they describe Force Lightning, it is a dark side ability. Force Lightning is a dark side force technique, and they completely disregarded that in The Last Jedi, and then obviously in The Rise of Skywalker.
I mean, they disregarded quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, they have no idea what they're doing over there. But yeah, so we're seeing we're seeing these ugly, horrible, bland, crappy designs across the board. It's not just in Resident Evil and Mortal Kombat. We're seeing it here in Star Wars. We're seeing it. We've seen it a lot in recent Marvel comics. It does seem like they're kind of trying to change that with the new America Chavez design. But obviously the Twitterazzi don't like it. They want their females to look horrible.
They want them all to look like Sarah Plainenthal.
You get in trouble if you make them unattractive.
Look into her eyes and just be seduced. She's just calling you. She's just calling you to come to her. She's just like, come to me.
I'm good.
Like she's got the look that would make your sperm show up.
God, man, yeah, that would. God, man, I mean, that's what you call shrinkage inducing, right there. I mean, my goodness, there isn't much more of a way to put that.
Now, after looking at this for so long, Drew, I'm gonna have to watch some cultured anime to put my mind at rest.
Brother, good Lord, I'm telling you. I mean, that's. I mean, you might as well take a swim in ice cold water. It's about the same thing as looking at that.
Dude, the ice cold water would probably feel better than looking at Karen. Thank you for moving on. Like you were making my eyes suffer. What did I do to you?
Yes.
You didn't say ma'am. I should have left it on there until you said ma'am. Ma'am.
That happened like 2 hours from my house. I was in Albuquerque.
Oh,
I was in
God.
the same state as that person.
All right. Do we want to get into some rumors, MCU rumors? We were talking earlier about how there's been a ton of stuff happening, and we got a bunch of rumors about Doctor Strange. Probably the most definitive rumors, though, are from Black Widow. You guys want to go? Black Widow or Doctor Strange?
Let's go Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Black Widow. All right. So we just got this up right before we went live. It's why we were a little delayed. I was trying to get it up before we went live. This is from our...
Often my problem.
Here we go. Here's our featured image, courtesy of Donald Edmonds. Can't even see our good friend David Harbour here. His face has been circled out. Oh, we got the Red Hulk in there. Oh, woo. Yeah, so obviously we're going to be talking about spoilers. So just if you don't want to get spoilers.
And again, rumors, spoilers, we don't know if they're true.
Rumors.
Yeah. See, we didn't say rumor in this one. We said alleged Black Widow spoilers. Spoilers here.
Oh yeah.
We know how to dodge it.
Watch out! Somebody on Twitter might take a pass.
Yeah, you missed the beginning of that. That's what we did the first. That's what we did address at the very beginning of the show, Drew. People just getting pissed at a rumor. So this one, it's a 4chan rumor.
Oh my god!
How dare you, John?
And look, another publication reported on it too. I wonder if that's a problem for them. I probably not.
Super problematic.
So yeah, this the BGR had the 4chan link in their article, but it had already been deleted, been removed. You get a 404 error if you click on it. So we linked to BGR, so we couldn't find an archive. I searched, I couldn't find one. So we linked back to BGR for this. And so we kind of just focused here on the new details. We do have at the bottom of this article, which let's just kind of we have the full spoilers of someone's take. And this guy who did these post-credit and mid-credit scenes here, they also they pretty much parroted what the other person had said, although there was a little bit of differences, and the mid-credit scene is where that difference in this new leak actually comes from. So let's kind of get into this. Let's start with the mid-credit scene here. John, do you wanna describe it?
Yeah. So I can actually read that. All right. So according to that 4chan leak, the mid-credit scene, this is the pivotal scene that might get everyone buzzing, shows General Thaddeus Ross creating a team of his own, a league of his own. Anybody? Gina Davis? Nobody? All right. He uses a flash drive and apparently has the ability to erase people digitally, their digital identity from government databases. And then the big reveal, the big twist at the end is that Yelena Belova and Taskmaster were working together to obtain the flash drive from Nat, and then it's apparently setting up the Thunderbolts.
That's the implication. That's the insinuation.
Yeah,
I've always thought it would be cool to do a Thunderbolts movie because they've got a lot of villains they never touched back upon, like Abomination or Zemo, but I could see it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I have a feeling that this might this would have led into potentially what we might see with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, with Zemo maybe being the leader of the Thunderbolts, potentially, maybe.
Yeah, Thunderbolts would be cool.
If they finally decide to connect TV and movies, which they might because it's Disney Plus now.
Yeah, they've announced that those are going to be connected.
Oh.
I mean, WandaVision is Scarlet Witch with Elizabeth Olsen, and that's leading into. We'll talk about that later. That's leading into Doctor Strange. But so what I also found interesting about this is that I guess I should have scrolled down. And then here we get the final post-credit scene. And then we'll go back into the mid-credits. Don.
Okay, mid-credit scene.
Good.
All right, so previous spoilers indicated Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow fleeing the authorities following the events of Civil War. You have to scroll down a little bit.
No, post-credit scene. Read the post-credit scene.
Post-credit? Oh, yeah. The final
post-credit.
post-credit shows Clint Barton, a.k.a. Hawkeye, and his family at the gravestone mark of Natasha Romanoff. This obviously is the after the events of Avengers Endgame, serving to commemorate the death that the 2019 film really didn't. And that was a lot of gripe from some fans from Black Widow that she never got that.
Yeah, and
send off.
Again, this is actual Marvel Studios listening to the fans that have a legitimate complaint. Black Widow didn't get the ceremony that Iron Man did. She should have. We saw this when they got the gripe with Iron Man 3, and they released that awesome short revealing that the Mandarin wasn't like a phony. He was actually like a legit villain. So yeah, I think that I actually like this post-credit scene. If this is true, I like this. But let's get back to that mid-credit scene. So what's really interesting about this mid-credit scene is, so we got this. We've gotten a couple, pretty much like full plot breakdowns of Black Widow, and we're going to get into this too. So we're going to talk about a lot of the plot. So it happens after the events of Civil War. So if you remember from Civil War, Black Widow sides with Captain America. So in the beginning of the film, she was siding with Iron Man, trying to get Cap to sign the Sokovia Accord. She has a change of heart during the airport scene where she neutralizes Black Panther, basically turning her back on Iron Man and the government. And so she's fleeing from the government, but she's not only fleeing from the government, she's discovered this flash drive that has the ability to wipe away your DNA and your fingerprints and all other sorts of things from all digitally stored government databases. If you remember, this was something that Catwoman was looking for in Dark Knight Rises. That she thought that what's his name had, the guy who thought he was employing Bane, and Bane was like, do you feel in charge or whatever?
Do you feel powerful?
Yeah, powerful. That's it. That was a great scene where he just like puts his hand on his shoulder and it's like, do you feel powerful? But yeah, so he didn't have it, but obviously at the end of the film, Bruce Wayne does give it to her, and he had it because Wayne Tech. So this isn't something that's unheard of. I guess they're hoping people won't remember that. I don't know. To me, when I read this spoiler, I was like, holy crap, this is like a super ripoff of Dark Knight Rises, and it feels very J.J. Abrams-esque, Find the Mystery Box, right? We talk about that a lot. Gary talks about that. Script Doctor talks about that.
To me, it feels more like a way to...
It's a MacGuffin, yeah.
It's a MacGuffin, but it's also a way to backdoor any villain you might want to bring in from the Thunderbolts, like Moth or Joystick or Volt or anybody. If you want to bring them in, you can say, oh yeah, they were definitely around during Civil War or Winter Soldier, but you didn't know because they were erased. So you can fit anybody into your canon now.
Yeah, I think that works to that extent. I guess I'm looking at it like that's definitely a way to look at it from a wider narrative perspective within the MCU. From the specific, like in the movie though, it just kind of feels, I don't know, okay, she's going to find some like super tech piece. Like
the entire movie, even the post-credit scene, for how great it is that Disney listened to fans, the entire movie is kind of just like oh yeah, you want Black Widow, crap, let's kind of throw something together. There's no impact. You can tell it wasn't planned because it's after she dies. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it just feels kind of like it's wedged in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll only serve a purpose for those who want to like rewatch these movies, like maybe 6 or 7 years from now, and they're gonna watch it in whatever chronological order it is to the characters. So,
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, they'll watch it in between Civil War and Infinity
Endgame.
War.
Yeah, and Infinity
War, yeah.
And whatever other movies they decide to wedge into that time frame.
That window, that 5-year window.
So she eventually obtains the device and reportedly gives it to Yelena at the end of the film. Which is weird. So her whole objective is to get it so she can like avoid being pursued by the government. And by the end of the film, she's decided like, no, I'm going to give it to you so you can have a fresh start. And then she reconnects with Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson, who are part of the Secret Avengers, which they hinted at leading up to Infinity War in like some official character bios, where they talked about that they have secret. There's like the Secret Avengers are operating. Obviously, we saw a little bit of that in Infinity War when Cap showed up to save Scarlet Witch and Vision from freaking Proxima Midnight, and what's the guy's name with the spear?
Not the Ebony Maw.
No, it wasn't Ebony Maw.
not
It's
Maw.
the other guy. It's
Corvus
the leader.
Glaive.
Corvus Glaive, yeah. The guy with the glaive, the spear. Who only dies if his spear is broken. But the real twist is at the end of the film when Yelena gives the Fox charge to Thaddeus Ross. So it's like she's actually working with Taskmaster to obtain this device because Taskmaster is there in this mid-credits scene. So then again, like we think the idea is that it could be Thunderbolt's team. But what's interesting is there was a previous leak that the end of the film shows Yelena actually killing Taskmaster. So this mid-credit scene is supposed to be like a huge shock. That's like, oh crap, Taskmaster is still alive. And you're like, holy, and then you realize it's not only that it's a huge shock that he's still alive, but that like Yelena is like a traitor, which I don't know if that's really a big thing. But so there's definitely going to be a lot of twists and turns here. The leak also, this previous leak had also said that Rachel Weisz's character is actually going to be like one of the main villains, and she's the one who's in charge of the Red Room and has been training these young girls to become assassins. And then Widow is going to be betrayed by her like former ex, who is actually Taskmaster. And he's played by, what's his name here? O.T.
Fagbini?
Fabini.
I have no idea how to say that. I'm not going to try. Who plays Rick Mason? I'm not familiar with that character. Do you know?
Neither am I. And he doesn't show up in any of the trailers.
Well, I think the reason why he doesn't show up in any of the trailers is because there's a huge twist with him, obviously, right? He's the guy who's going to betray Nat, but is actually on his team, according to these leaks. So, I mean, it does sound like there's going to be a lot of twists and turns. They're describing it as like a Mission Impossible vibe, which yeah, I mean, I like the Mission Impossible movies. The last one was really, really good with Henry. I'm going to butcher his last name.
Cavill?
Cavill, however you say it. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know.
But she's no Tom Cruise.
But so here's the original. This is she's definitely no.
She's not
Tom
doing her
Cruise.
own stunts.
But here's so these guys are they're being pursued. So there's 3 threads. She's trying to get the flash drive. She's being chased by the government, and then stopping Melina, which I assume is like probably towards the beginning of the 3rd act, and maybe the end of the 3rd act. So obviously Taskmaster knows where they are because he's working with her. The film makes you think all of her allies could be him. And then he's obviously he has the Taskmaster ability. So then you get that Mason is revealed to be Taskmaster. Oh, we got a character death. So David Harbour isn't going to be living past, unless it's a fake death too. This is what was really interesting. Yelena kills Taskmaster by shooting him through his broken mask as he is about to kill Natasha. Nat is pissed, but understands and gives Yelena the Fox charge so she can disappear. I don't know, why is she pissed that someone saved her life? That's kind of weird too. Maybe she actually wasn't going to die and was like tricking him. I don't know.
Maybe Taskmaster has some information that Nat really needs for whatever reason.
I mean, didn't it say that Taskmaster was her ex or something? Or, I mean, maybe it's just the superhero code.
Yeah, so she's supposed to be her ex. Like maybe it's they're calling back this scene where she from the first Avengers, I think, right? Where she's tied up on the chair.
Oh yeah, first Avengers.
And she's like, I'm like, this guy's telling me everything. Maybe it's a callback to that, and that's what she's trying to do. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I can't really get hyped for the film. Like you said, it's just there. Should have happened 5 years ago. It does sound like a generic spy film with a Marvel coating on it. I know people are thinking that it's going to be some like huge blockbuster film.
You can only wish, but it's not going to be.
It was probably already going to do kind of shaky, but with COVID, who knows how well it's going to do now?
Yeah, I think there's. I mean, I'm seeing all like like a lot of sites are saying it's going to do over $1 billion or whatever at the box office, and I'm just like,
what?
I don't know.
Close.
No way.
Well, that was before the pandemic, but that's what people were thinking, $1 billion globally. And now I'm just like, dude, even Thor Ragnarok didn't do a billion globally. I'm just like, I don't know if Black Widow is as big as Thor. So, Thor is, I mean, probably one of the more popular Marvel characters. Although I know a lot of people pan the second one, Dark World. So.
I mean, that one is kind of boring.
Yeah, I have trouble remembering it. I just know that like Natalie Portman's character gets like the black stuff in her, and then she's taken to Asgard, and they try and heal her, and then there's like a big fight at the end with the dark elf who gets the power, and like the worlds are coming together or whatever. They jump through time, and like there's a cool scene at the end with like Loki faking out Malekith or whatever, loses his hand or whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, so this Black Widow leaks. I don't know. What do you think, Don? You're probably our biggest Marvel guy here.
Yeah, but I think I've said it before on the stream. Like, this movie should have come out a long time ago. Fans were clamoring for it, and it kind of seems like an afterthought that they're doing this.
Yeah, this should have been a follow-up to Winter Soldier at the.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And then the Thunderbolts thing, if that happens, I don't know about that, because there's a lot of other characters they could use to give them like fresh life in the MCU. The Fantastic Four, the X-Men, like all those characters from the Netflix. I mean, and then
you can use the Thunderbolts essentially, and I hope they don't do this, but you can use them as Marvel's answer to the Suicide Squad.
That's exactly what they are.
That's totally what they're going to be. Yeah,
that's exactly how I saw it. It's going to be so weird that James Gunn is going to be is doing Suicide Squad, and he's going to go back and work on Guardians, and like, there's got to be like, you think
they'll give him
so many. I don't know. There's just so many. I feel like there's so many. There's like got to be some kind. There's like an ethical quandary there.
Not really. I don't think his Suicide Squad's going to be competing against any Marvel film when it releases.
Yeah, but it is though.
Not over for the year, yeah, but like not during the weekend. I don't think.
Right. It won't directly be competing against it, but I don't know.
Brought up in conversation whenever you bring up James Gunn, you'll go Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, remember when he also did Suicide Squad? Remember when he did Guardians 3?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me how that's going to work. I find that dynamic interesting. I think the issue to me, script, is more how do you not tell the people at Disney like what you know about like what's going on in DC and like your people at DC, you're like, oh, you're just like on set and you're like just shooting the shit, right? About like, oh, this is what we were talking about doing at Marvel or whatever,
Well, given the level of incompetence that WB has, you could tell them everything step by step what Marvel's going to do, and they still would fuck it up.
True.
But usually when it comes to projects, there's an old Hitchcock rule that a lot of directors try to do, which is basically they try to get their entire cast and crew to swear to secrecy. It never holds up fully because usually the production gets a little more hectic nowadays than it did back in Hitchcock's time.
So
but in most cases, there's
CGI studios and everything too.
Well, it's basically post-production where you get most of your leaks from.
Right.
Unless the actual production is a nightmare, you're not going to get many people spoiling stuff during the actual production. But post-production is where it's really going to happen.
Unless you get like that they're out in the open and people are like videotaping or whatever.
Yeah, like if they're doing like public shots, so they didn't properly screen it off from the public, then yeah, you can get cool leaks from that. But that's going to be happening during production. That's usually from people outside, like just residents that live in the area or just passing by. That happens all the time, especially back when I used to commute into Toronto last month for work. I'd always be able to get a glimpse at something being shot down there. So yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, recently, I guess the last stuff we saw was the Falcon and the Winter Soldier fight scenes. I think they had turned Atlanta into New York City, and we saw
Washington, I think, right? Yeah.
Was that the last one, or was it Loki?
Well, we had Loki stuff too, but remember the big actual we had that fight scene with Winter Soldier rescuing the people out of the truck. And then what's his name is the new Captain America U.S. agent is fighting that gang of women or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. No, I get you. Yeah. I thought you were talking about actual the Captain America Winter Soldier film.
Oh no! Sorry.
I'm super tired, so I'm gonna have to jump off, guys. Sorry.
Right. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. I'll catch you guys later.
Yep.
Yeah, Mark's saying I think Marvel is over. A lot of people have checked out. I'm not convinced of that.
I wouldn't say it's over, but maybe a little bit of fatigue. I wouldn't say it's over.
Yeah, I think it all depends on how good these Disney Plus shows are, and I think a lot of it rests on Eternals as well. I think if Eternals does horribly, I do think a lot of people will just check out completely. And I have a feeling that Eternals will do. I don't think the Marvel brand will be able to prop up Eternals like it did Captain Marvel.
I think Eternals will be great. It's just not going to be great for the casual viewer. I think it's finally going to turn them on.
Yeah, I think there's going to be. I mean, I think everything about that is there's too many new characters. There's too many characters.
Too many
there's too many moving parts, and then you have all the woke agenda that they're pushing to market the film.
Oh yeah.
Totally forgot about all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all we've really heard. Those are the biggest news stories out of the Eternals, aside from the fact that they brought in the two Game of Thrones guys. The guy who played Robb Stark, who's absolutely phenomenal in The Bodyguard on Netflix, and then the guy who plays
Kit Harington.
Plays Jon Snow.
And then Selma Hayek.
Yeah, and then Angelina Jolie. They try to bring in big name actors to try and prop up the film, which is kind of, I feel like that's against their own MO.
Right?
It's because they want to get this film out there because it's such a weird title.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like Guardians. The Guardians film was, I think, it's what people want. There was it gave people what they were missing from Star Wars. We hadn't gotten a big sci-fi epic space opera in a while, and we finally got that in Guardians. I guess we got a little bit in Star Trek. I know I guess we lost Jorge too.
Well, Star Trek you can't count as space opera.
Well, the 2009 film was definitely a space opera. I'd argue. No?
I'm on your side. I can see it.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, there's a evil dude named evil Romulan guy who's blowing up planets with a super weapon and threatening to blow up Earth, and you got to send Kirk on a crazy mission to stop him, right? I don't know. Seems similar to me.
I'm there.
It had the space battles, and I don't know. It felt very. You had the relationships with Kirk and Spock and Bones and Uhura and Chekhov and Scotty. The drama between the characters, which I don't know. That's very similar to me. All right, so let's go Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
This one's a big one.
Yeah, I actually think this one is way more interesting.
It's a crazy one, but it's a big one.
Yeah, here we go. I gotta find it. Here we go. What? There's something in the background, man. Drew, do you have the TV on?
No.
Spencer, are you? Yeah, it's Spencer. Spencer's got something on in the background.
Well, yeah. I have nothing on in the background. Let me see what's up.
What do you have on?
Feedback.
I got.
Oh, okay.
Give me a second.
It's your voice, John. I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing on, dude. I'm just chilling here eating nuts.
All right.
I still like that.
That's what she said.
I knew you guys weren't gonna let that slide.
It was the bell, man. The bell is just like. All right, so this was getting from Don. This was from earlier today. We've got a new rumor about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And there are plans to introduce Captain Britain and Ghost Rider.
Wait, do they already have a Ghost Rider in Marvel?
Do we?
That all fell apart, didn't it?
Is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really canon for MCU? I'm not really sure. I don't think it really is.
That guy was good, though.
I did like that Ghost Rider.
No, yeah. Apparently he played a good Terminator in Terminator Woke Fade. Just the rest of the film was crap. I still haven't seen it. Don't plan to see it.
Well, the guy's a good actor. I didn't think.
Oh, yeah. What's his name? Gabriel?
Gabriel Luna.
Yeah,
Gabriel Luna. Yeah, dude is solid as Ghost Rider. I thought that was some of the best stuff they had. Yeah. I'm not.
Well, weren't they going to do a Ghost Rider show with that guy?
Yeah, so they announced that there was going to be a Ghost Rider show on Hulu, and it was going to happen alongside a the two brother and sister. Yeah, there was a brother and sister like Satana. Satana and Hellstrom.
Hellstrom.
And I think they're still last I heard, they're still developing the Hellstrom series, but the Ghost Rider series got canceled, which means that this rumor might actually be a little bit more valid than one might have thought if that Ghost Rider series was still in development. Because there were rumors at the time that Ghost Rider series got canceled. That was when they announced that, right around the time that Feige was becoming the end all be all of everything Marvel. So if he had plans for Ghost Rider in the MCU, they wouldn't want to be developing a non-MCU TV spinoff from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So this rumor came from Wardell Roger on Twitter. We believe that this could be Roger Wardell, who had leaked a bunch of stuff from Avengers Endgame. He revealed that there's going to be Fat Thor and what was the other scene?
Stan Lee in the 1970s car show. He
cameo.
accurately predicted the elevator scene being recreated.
Yes.
But he said there would be a twist. Hail Hydra.
Yep, we got that twist. Yep.
He said that in 2018.
Yeah.
And,
so he was pretty spot on for most of his stuff.
It's like he watched the movie.
Or he read the script. So he indicates that Captain Britain and Ghost Rider will appear in Doctor Strange 2. And then along with the script, he says that the Darkhold will be fundamental for the upcoming WandaVision series, and that the events of both Doctor Strange and WandaVision will prepare the ground for Doctor Doom's debut. So this is really interesting. We know that Feige said that Fantastic Four was 5 years out, but it sounds like Doctor Doom could be coming a lot sooner than 5 years.
That seems like such a complicated path to get to Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
I'm not saying it can't be cool or it's not going to be great. It just seems so convoluted. Very comics.
I think that's that's kind of what they're going for, right? I feel like most of the MCU has had this very comic structure to it, where you kind of had to read. It's like an event structure. You had to read You had to watch Winter Soldier to understand what the hell was happening in Civil War, right?
So does this mean? So does this mean with Captain Britain, we're also going to get, I guess, a connection to Betsy Braddock, and then on to the X-Men too?
The X-Men.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. I mean, if I can see them already, like, who's Captain Britain right now in the comics? It's Betsy Braddock, right? Maybe that's who we get as Captain Britain. We don't get, what is his name? Brian. We don't get Brian. We get Betsy instead. We do know that the Braddocks have been referenced in where is it here? They were
Endgame.
in Endgame. That you can't really see it. You can't hear it. I couldn't. I watched this clip like over and over. I couldn't hear it, but this is where they supposedly Peggy Carter is talking to a person in this room that Cap is observing, and she says something about like Braddock hasn't checked in, and we have no idea. Like she's like kind of like frazzled where they are at, and then she like leaves the room in a hurry, and so Don here speculates that the Braddock that she's talking about, since this is what the 70s, I believe, 1970 is when this is taking place, could be Brian's father, James Braddock, who died in a lab accident, and had been working for. I don't think it was Shield. Was it Shield? I don't think it was Shield at the time. It was still. What was that, Spencer?
Oh no, that's a different organization. It was
the forerunner for Shield. I forget what it was called. I don't remember. Do you remember? It was in the Peggy Carter series.
Oh yeah, I remember watching all 0 episodes of it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
I think I watched like
probably
2.
why it got canceled.
It got 2 seasons though, didn't it? I thought it got 2 seasons. They should have put it on this. They should have put it on Freeform. It would have survived. But yeah, so we have seen the Braddock family before. And what's interesting is that I really like this. There is a motorcycle theme with Ghost Rider and Brian Braddock.
Yeah.
I'm like when I saw this, when I remember this, I was like, holy crap! There's going to be like a motorcycle crash. One of them, they're going to crash into each other. One of them is going to make a deal with Mephisto.
One of them gets the deal with Mephisto. The other one gets to meet Merlin.
Yeah, like that's like it's like it has to happen because like
nerdy.
It's so nerdy, but it's also like dramatic and it's also funny. It's like got all those like elements right together. So instead of him like running away, like he runs away from some like guy in a spaceship who he was like a witness to the event, and then he drives off a cliff to try and get away. Obviously crashes, and Merlin shows up, finds him, gives him the amulet. He becomes Captain Britain, whereas like Ghost Rider signs the original Ghost Rider. What is Johnny Blaze, right?
Yeah.
He signs a deal with Mephisto. Well, I think originally he signs a deal with Satan, and then they retcon Satan into Mephisto, and then to save his father's life, right? I believe. Yeah.
I believe that's the original story.
Yeah, so that's like his first main origin story. But yeah, dude, I am so excited about this. If it's true, because I'm still like, the supernatural is something that Marvel, like, I think should have embraced way before, because I think the supernatural stuff is like just really, really cool. Ghost Rider is just awesome. I don't know, I guess it was last year, I actually picked up that entire like Doctor Strange in Hell or Doctor Strange Damnation run, which was actually it was a decent story. I think Donny Cates did it.
Right.
Yeah, he's a center of attention elsewhere on the internet. But yeah, no, I think I really like that. So it was Doctor Strange had like been defeated by Mephisto. He was like taken into hell or whatever, or one of the like a dimension of hell. So basically, you had to have a kind of ragtag group of people with like, it was like Blade, and a couple others who like obviously don't stand a chance against Mephisto power
Midnight
level
Suns?
wise. Yeah, it was like I think it was like part of the Midnight Suns team, and then they added some other characters. I think like Spider-Man
Yeah,
was
they
in
had
there.
Ben Riley. Ben Riley
Yeah.
was on the team.
Yeah, Ben Riley was on the team. So you had it was a very hodgepodge group of characters, and it worked well though. The team worked well, but the big twist was that Ghost Rider attacked Mephisto head on. Mephisto sends him to hell, and then Ghost Rider basically. So Mephisto is like not in hell, so he's not on his like seat of power controlling it. He's in this like casino trying to turning the Earth into like his own hell. And while he's there trying to turn Earth into hell, Ghost Rider is taking over hell, and he becomes the king of hell. And that was just like it was really fun and interesting, and I love that supernatural stuff. I'd be interesting to see what Marvel does with it on the big screen. I think there's like really cool stuff that they can do, especially with Ghost Rider and like if they want to explore like Mephisto and stuff. Although I'm not sure that they're really going to do this given China's aversion to like demons and stuff like that. So that is like the one like, are they really going to do this? I'm thinking that it might be more of a like they might cameo Ghost Rider and then he has to be spun into a Disney Plus series.
Isn't that
Like,
why
it
they
might
took
be
it
like
out of making this movie super horror because of China?
Yeah, that's the theory I think going on out there. That's why Derrickson dropped out for creative. I was like still remaining on as an executive producer. Yeah, he probably has not doing anything, but with the film. But yeah, no, I think that's the reason he wanted to go really hardcore with the horror. They were going to introduce Nightmare, and I think Feige kind of toned that back in this New York this interview here, where he talks like so much stuff he reveals in this interview. Where he talks about I think he talks about Doctor Strange, and they were going to introduce a couple of new characters. He talks about that in this interview, and we wouldn't know who they were. Obviously, you would think that maybe they're going to introduce Clea and some other like prominent Doctor Strange characters, but he is saying that they'd be characters you wouldn't expect. Ghost Rider, Captain Britain are definitely characters you wouldn't expect to see showing up in Doctor Strange. But as Mark says, yeah, China won't allow skeletons, so no Ghost Rider. That's why I think that he might not get a feature film. It would instead be on Disney Plus and streaming instead. But you might get a cameo of Johnny Blaze, maybe. I don't know. What do you? I like Ghost Rider. I think there's like a tons of really cool stories that you can tell with Ghost Rider. It opens up a whole new aspect of the MCU. Like Guardians of the Galaxy opened this up to cosmic world. Ant-Man gave us quantum, which they haven't even really explored the quantum realm yet. We saw that city, and that's about it that we've seen. And then he was stuck there, and we got to see a little bit. And we got the healing particles that can heal you, but they haven't really explored it outside of that. But then you get the supernatural, and that's just a whole nother level. Because I guess like I don't really consider Doctor Strange like supernatural. It's still more like sci-fi to me. I don't know. I guess you could see Dormammu as a giant demon, but he's just more of like I don't know. He's just he reminds me more of like the Anti-Monitor type. Obviously he's not the Anti-Monitor, but he's
you can just use the argument from Thor that magic is just alien tech.
Yeah,
right. Whereas like if you introduce Ghost Rider, it's supernatural. They're like it's not alien tech at all. But yeah, no, I don't know. I really would love to see more Ghost Rider. I'm a huge fan of Ghost Rider.
I mean, I like Ghost Rider too, but it's like I said, man, China's got to ruin everything.
See, the thing with the no skeletons thing, remember in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Ego, when he gets blasted, he's part skeleton at some point. Did they edit that part out in the China release?
I don't know. Also, remember when Gamora and Nebula are fighting, they stop their fight because they see the graves of all of the dead people, right?
Mm-hmm.
That Ego had been experimenting on.
Oh, yeah.
All his children, they're all dead in like this giant mass
So
grave.
it's not necessarily death and like gore they don't want to show. It's like the actual, like the character of a skeleton. So
Yeah.
So like living skeletons, like Brooke from One Piece or something, are pretty taboo for them.
Or Ash versus the Evil Dead, right?
Yeah, or Ash versus the Evil Dead, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe with everything that's going on now, and I feel like I saw something today where like Japan was like moving production of a bunch of stuff out of China. We're seeing other people move stuff out of China. I think there's going to be a very huge shift to move stuff away from China, and maybe that opens the door for like, hey, more Ghost Rider, we can do this. But I also think like if you put it on Disney Plus, it's safer, but it's also like Disney Plus, and they basically are averse to putting anything with like mature content on there.
Well, you know what I'm hoping for, John, is that they do yet another reboot of Red Dawn and make China the enemy this time.
They will never do that.
That's never gonna happen.
That movie will never be made.
Yeah, the only way that movie is made is if it's like an indie, like some indie person does it. No, I mean China's like the heroes now.
No
like,
money.
I don't know, man. We come out of this.
Just look what they did to Top Gun. They've already like neutered his jacket.
Oh yeah, they did. They neutered the jacket, but that was before they basically decided to be get in the business of China trying to bioterror the world too. So.
Mark saying that Blizzard eliminated skeletons from World of Warcraft for China. Are you serious?
Yeah, they did.
True.
They did that.
What?
What about Diablo 3 then?
So they completely got rid of the all those skeletons in like the Undercity and stuff?
Yeah, they got rid of a lot of stuff.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Blizzard's stockholders are Chinese.
All the skeletons in China have skin on them now. They're essentially just light-colored humans.
Well, all you guys got to do is, Don, go back to that article I did, I think it was last year, of all the stuff that Tencent owns.
Yeah, they
you can see
go back that far, Drew.
Well, I'm just saying.
Tencent is a Chinese state-run Chinese company.
Oh yeah, and they pretty much they own most of the gaming world and most of the movies.
Yeah, it's like 10% stake in almost all of these.
That's the other story too.
They just bought someone else too, I think. They bought like a 10% stake in someone else, and they were like,
Disney.
Just because we sold off 10% of our company to this Chinese company doesn't mean we will be changing our creative.
Yeah,
they had to like issue a statement about it, and it's like, okay, you are basically telling us that that's exactly what you're going to do. That's why you made the statement.
Yeah. Mark 63366 says, "All hail Tencent, our overlord and master." You're not wrong right now.
Not wrong at all.
As it stands currently, it's like that. Now, if there's a huge shift in foreign policy after this whole thing,
it's gotta come from like corporate culture too. I think I think it has to, like, you really want it from the corporate. I mean, I know that it really has to come that way. I know. We talk about it a lot on here, and then we also, we write a bunch of articles about it. I mean, the whole Blitzchung thing, and then the NBA earlier this year, before all this stuff went happen. I think that we might see something happening because it's so predominant now with what's going on.
I'd love it. That would be amazing.
Oh yeah, it would be great.
I think the solution is just to put Ghost Rider in a 3-second scene that's easily editable for the Middle East and China.
It's probably what will happen.
We didn't even get to the best part of that.
Oh well, we'll get to it. I didn't
Oh, okay.
Totally. It's still here. It's still here. See, still got it up. Where did you want to go to?
The one that they are supposedly casting.
Oh, here. I'm already there.
Fast
Okay.
Forward.
So when I was editing this, what's his name didn't say anything about who they're casting. So where did this come from?
That came from the YouTube channel that we were.
Oh, it came from Cosmic Wonder, which is up here.
Yeah, Cosmic Wonder.
Okay. All right, yeah. So Cosmic Wonder is speculating that it could be Keanu Reeves as. Was he saying that was it? Like I haven't watched the video
He didn't
fully.
say anything definitively, but
Okay.
he's saying
So
that
his
putting
speculation.
two together, it's most likely Keanu Reeves because of what Kevin Feige has been saying about Keanu, and Keanu's a big bike guy.
Oh yeah, and this is what Feige had to say. He says we talk to him for almost every film we make.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I don't know when, if, or ever he'll join the MCU, but we very much want to figure out the right way to do it. Every film we make, they talk to Keanu Reeves. That is like super high praise.
Yeah.
Super high praise. Dang. Yeah, I think I like how they would go a little bit older. It's kind of he could like I could I like it. I like that they would go with Keanu Reeves. I think he could be a really dope Ghost Rider.
Do you think they make Johnny or Danny?
Don says Danny.
I could see that. Yeah, I'd see him as a better Danny than a.
I'm not super familiar with Danny, so I'm not.
He was more 90s.
Okay. Did
Yeah,
he ride the motorcycle though?
He has the armored motorcycle.
He has the
Yeah.
armored motorcycle. This is not his motorcycle then.
Yeah.
That's Johnny, right? Okay.
That's Johnny. Yeah.
Okay. What is Danny's personality compared to Johnny?
Is very much the kind of like your stereotypical rebel without a cause biker.
Yeah,
Okay.
Very angsty.
Very angsty, very gruff, very I'm a wanderer, don't get close to me.
So he'd be playing his Bill and Ted character kind of as the
Yeah.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, pretty much. He'd be playing sad John Wick the entire time.
So right after his dog is dead.
Right after his dog dies, he makes a deal with the Spitzo.
I could see that. That could work. I mean, can you imagine like all the cool stunts they could do with he uses a chain whip too?
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
yeah, he has one too.
Yeah, he could like all the cool stunts they could do with the chain whip and everything. He gets his like John Wick stunt coordinators, man. Oh, that would be cool.
Cool.
Yeah. And the John Wick 3 producer actually has been reportedly tapped to write rewrite the Obi-Wan Kenobi series
Oh god.
after Kathleen Kennedy promised us last year that the scripts had been written and everything was good. It was a lie.
Were they? Did you ever trust them when they said they were good, though? I mean,
Oh no, it's coming from Kathleen Kennedy. Come on now. The person who has the only director she hasn't had a problem with is Rian Johnson, who like absolutely butchered the Star Wars canon.
It's kind of impressive that they were able to destroy Star Wars. You'd think nothing could, and then that happened.
Dude, we did a Twitter poll about Mace Windu. If people would be interested in a Mace Windu spin-off series, and I was like, yes, no, or I'm done with Star Wars. I think I'm done with Star Wars 1.
Yeah.
Last I checked, it was dominating. Yes was in last. Which is crazy, man. People are just so they absolutely have just driven people away from the franchise.
Which is sad.
Well, yeah,
So sad.
Definitely.
So sad. And they keep doubling down on it. I mean, we talked about this High Republic crap. I think they're getting desperate with like all the Ahsoka Tano stuff. I worry about what's going to do to that character with live action.
As long as they keep Kennedy off the set I think they'll be fine.
Hope those rumors are true. I don't know, man. I know there's a lot of people that love The Mandalorian. I mean, you were here when we reviewed a lot of the shows, Don. You know my thoughts on the matter. I know I like sometimes say I'm being like too nitpicky, but I just think there were a lot of flaws in the show. The storytelling had a lot of flaws, and I think people were just wanted to like have a good Star Wars experience, and it wasn't like absolutely like spitting in their face like Ezra, like Chokeman Ezra Miller.
Well, it wasn't garbage, so they took it.
It wasn't like super trash like Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker.
You know what though, Tom? They might get, or John, they might get a little rebound in audience because I mean, good God, if you compare Picard against Mandalorian, Mandalorian was
the bar is so low.
I really it is. I feel like the bar is super low for any kind of entertainment right now. Like what has like wowed us since like Game of Thrones like just destroyed everything. Like I mean I tuned out of Game of Thrones at season 4, I think. I know a lot of people were still into it. I got back into it.
I mean,
watching with my wife with season 7 and then season 8, and I was like, "Holy crap! This show has gone downhill."
I mean, Witcher was good. Expanse was good.
The Expanse was really good. The second season was really good. The third season, there were some good moments, but
don't spoil it.
I'm not. There were some really good moments, but I think it also had some issues. Third season. And then The Witcher has issues with the way it's structured. I think that it's still really confusing. I was confused by the timeline, and I think that is confusing. I think though moving forward they should be okay with the timeline moving forward, and they shouldn't be doing all the flashbacks and everything. Maybe they will. Who knows? But hopefully it'll be more linear moving forward. But yeah, there's nothing out there that's like great though. Like it's really, really good.
No, I agree with you.
Now.
There's nothing that's really knocking anybody's socks off. And
there's no cultural phenomena.
Right. Game of Thrones had that, and then they trashed it. Star Wars had it, and they trashed it.
Walking Dead was on a good track, but that even went down after a while.
That went downhill a long time ago when you saw, what's his name, the kid get hit by a gunshot, and then you could see the fishing wire actually pulling him in like season 3. It's pretty bad.
Well, you know, Spencer, they had a chance to come back with something good if they would have went and took some of the stuff from the Telltale games, implemented Clementine.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of people wanted. I think they could have rebounded with that, but yeah, I mean that went downhill too. So
I think every property can be redeemed. The problem is when you double down and keep going down these awful paths, you get further and further away from that redemption, and you get people who just get tired of it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's crazy.
Like CW?
Yeah.
No, Mark 63366 says The Witcher is great, but without game knowledge, I would have been lost. I totally agree.
Witcher, you had to know something about the games or books, because like if you would be completely lost. It'd be very hard to keep up if you hadn't.
You have to rewatch it too to like really get the time difference cues.
Mark Lurseth agrees. He said Mandalorian was overrated. Yeah, it was. I mean,
the best show of the last year is probably Swamp Thing, and they canceled that before it even aired.
It died before it could become the villain or something.
What about Titans? Fuck Batman.
Dude, Titans was so horrible. Oh my gosh. I stopped watching on like episode 6, I think. I was doing like reviews of it every week. And I was doing them. I think I was doing them. I was doing them by myself for season 2.
Sort of.
The beginning of season 2 was absolutely trash because they had to do a finale for season 1 for the first half of the episode, and then Raven just like waves her hand, and what's his name, Trigon, just like disappears into like back into his other dimension. Absolute garbage. This guy is like supposed to be like this huge big bad, just goes out there like, oh, I'm like Super Ray, and waves her hand and wins, which was crap. And then he got like there was a really good episode 4 was absolutely fantastic with Aqualad. That episode was one of the greatest TV episodes of last year. That it was great television. It was really good. And then they did this whole like Superboy story arc, which was just horrible. And then I stopped after that. I was just like, I was done. And I just stopped watching, which I mean, it's just the first season was okay, but it's just I don't know. And then they're going to bring in Barbara Gordon next season. I don't know, just whatever. And Stargirl looks like the Stargirl is obviously they're turning it into a CW show because it's going to be aired on CW. I have no faith in the Green Lanterns show from Berlanti.
Oh, Berlanti.
I just think it's going to be too special effects heavy for TV, man.
For Green Lantern?
Yeah.
Unless it's going to be like Netflix level budget.
Yeah.
Even then, I think what we're seeing, and I think this is a good point to transition here. I know Don has been itching to talk about this. A lot of I think these industries, their weakness is being exposed. We're seeing it in comic books. What are we? Diamond announced 2 weeks ago they were stopping distribution, and the only reason why they're able to even pay the publishers and the vendors who supply them with toys is because they negotiated with their landlord, who is not going to charge them rent, and that's how they're able. Well, no, they're paying 25% or whatever. They said they were going to start paying. But they initially said they weren't going to pay at all. They weren't going to pay at all. And then they came back out with another email, and they said that was going to be 25%. And the reason why they were going to be able to do that was because they were able to, they're not paying rent. So they can spend the money that they would have been using to pay rent to pay their vendors. And it's just like, holy crap, dude, your business hasn't even been shut down for a month, so you don't even have your bills coming due. Usually your bills are due at the beginning of the month or end of the month, and
it's bizarre.
And they're having to they're saying that they're shutting themselves down. And they did it to themselves with all the exclusive contracts with the distribution. I mean, we've been talking about this for a while, that the comic book industry, it was not in a healthy state, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's fine. It's still going to be here."
That's Donny Cates.
He did say that. I wasn't going to say that though. Everyone was saying that. All the people there were saying it, and we've been like, "No, look, these sales are declining. Like, you launch these number ones, they do okay, and then by issue 2, they're already down to over 60% loss of shipment. It's crazy." And we're seeing it in the theater industry now. So I know this is what you wanted to talk about, Don. So yeah, that's where we're going to segue to. It's not just comic books. It's the movie industry now too. And Don's going to tell us a little bit about what's happening with AMC theaters and how they are obviously struggling as well, or at least signaling that they are in dire straits.
Well, you're hearing about it all over on, at least from the YouTubers. I was watching Campia this morning. He was talking about it as well. AMC is running at a deficit of $5 billion, and they are losing upwards of $100 million this year already. And that was before all the COVID stuff happened. Now with everything closed, they are in danger of the S&P 500. They rated their business as a CCC negative. They have no confidence that AMC is going to be able to pull themselves out of it. And the big point of that is AMC might close. permanently. And
Yeah.
that's 1,000 theaters, 11,000 screens across the globe.
$5 billion in debt,
That's
which
insane.
is currently only valued at $327 million.
Well, yeah. I mean, and you got to think about this too, because once the country slowly starts to get back to some sort of normalcy, I mean, the projections, everybody's projection is there's pretty much 100% chance of a recession.
Yeah.
So
I think it's already happening.
Yeah, it's
totally already happening.
So you've already got that working against it. And then, if you think about it, if this thing turns out to where it's seasonal or there's any chance that, it can come back, well, then people are going to look for safe options if they do go out to a movie. What's the safest option that you can think of to go out to a movie? In these kind of times, the only thing that is really social distancing friendly would be to go to a drive-in, because that way everybody is to a degree covered and somewhat away from one another. And
so the guy rolls down their window, sneezes when he's getting his popcorn.
Yeah, I know.
Your vent, and you get it too,
But theoretically,
sorry.
Well, I know what you're saying, but
I'm not trying to make light of the situation. Sorry, I'm just pointing out that could happen.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying that the drive-in model is more social distancing conducive than if you go to an AMC theater. Now, there might be little community theaters that, you and I have talked about this, John, because you've been to those like themed theaters that have like breweries or
Alamo Draft House,
pizzerias,
got it.
Like
yeah,
those might make a go of it. But I don't see
it's more from movies to like an experience. You go out not just to see the movie, but for the drinks and the food and it'll become an event.
But these big multiplex theaters, I think a lot of them are going to go down. I think Don's right. They're just done.
I'm with both of you there.
So I will say that I think what a lot of this is, I think that these people, I think what's happening is that their bad business decisions in the past are catching up to them because of this event. They're being exposed, right. and they were already on teetering, and no one really had noticed it. But now with this, like what they've been doing has really just like exposed them. We're seeing it with Diamond. They had and we're seeing it with the comic books. They had a bad business model that wasn't working and is being exposed as like completely horrible. We're seeing that this is what we're seeing with AMC. Apparently, a lot of this has to do with like really expensive overhauls of their theaters that they did, and put them in a ton of debt, and now they can't get it back, right? Because they're not making any money because they're shut down. So maybe they shouldn't have spent all that money that they didn't have. They maybe should have only done a number of theaters. Maybe they have to shut some down.
Ditch effort. I mean, they were desperate to get anybody to come back to theaters in mass. Right.
Well, they were also being out competed with places like Alamo Draft House. Alamo Draft House has been rapidly expanding because they have the food. They have like a menu that you order. They have that they deliver it to you in the theater. They do all the event screenings where you can go and watch Clue and all this other stuff. They were just getting beat out by their competition, and so then AMC wanted to like invest in the bar, and then they put it all in the recliners and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, that's where I like to go. When I'm going to go to the movie theaters, I'd like to try and go to the seat that has a recliner, right? I usually avoid trying to pay for the food because it's super overpriced. And I'm just like. The corn dogs can be okay. The corn dog nuggets aren't too bad.
Well, I went to a theater like that. I'd never been to a theater like that until like this was probably back around 2009 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. I went to visit a friend of mine in North Carolina, and she took me to this theater that was like, it was like a microbrewery and pizzeria, along with being a movie theater. And it was like a small to mid-sized community type movie theater. But like I said, it had a microbrewery and pizzeria in there. And then when you went in the theater, they had like these, like sort of tables along, in front of you when you were sitting down, and they had the reclining seats like you were talking about, John. They had like the recliners, and then they would bring you in your pizza when it came up and stuff.
Right.
It was really cool. But something that has like a theme like that, I could see how those could do well, because those will stay in business. People, that has a feel that appeals to people to go to something like that. And the prices weren't overly bad at this theater. They were pretty good. Some of the stuff was overpriced, but it wasn't terrible. And and sure, something like that'll make a go of it. But the regular multiplexes are no. They're if AMC already screwed up this bad, yeah, they're done for.
Yeah, they're just like Diamond. They're ceasing to pay rent, like Diamond ceasing to pay their vendors and publishers.
Yeah, they sent a letter out, didn't they?
Yeah, a letter from their senior vice president of development and international, David Ellis. We're not gonna. I don't know if we're gonna read that. We can just read what Deadline says about it. The furlough 25.
Saying, hey, landowners, we're not going to pay our rent.
Yeah, it was crazy. Furlough 25,000 employees, reduced pay program for theater managers, placing a hold on discretionary expenditures, and making pay employee cuts at their corporate headquarters in an effort to reopen as soon as it's safe to do so. So, like, their entire business is suffering.
And they fired the CEO.
Did they?
Yeah.
When?
It's in my article.
Oh,
it's
okay.
also in my video from last week for Rumors and Specs.
Okay, so yeah, they fired. When did they do that? Last week?
They did that recently, I'd like to say. Like right when the shutdown happened.
Yeah.
They fired Adam Aaron. Because he was
right
saying
as
that,
this happened?
we're gonna operate at a 50% capacity for our theaters to follow the thing going on, and then.
I mean, I understand why he's saying that. Like, look what's happening. He understood where his business was. He understood that they needed to continue to try and bring people into the theaters to bring in some revenue in order for them to sustain. I mean, I don't like 25,000 people have been furloughed. I mean, you can say as much as you want about how like horrible it was that he was pitching that idea, but now you have 25,000 people who have been furloughed. They're out of a job.
Yeah, I think it was a foregone conclusion. He was gonna bite the dust.
Yeah,
whatever statement he made.
So yeah, Dread Pirate Mikey. Dread Pirate Mikey, yar! That's a great name. And what movies will they have to show? Most stuff has been moved way back. Yeah, Black Widow is in November. Fast 9 was moved to April of next year. What else? The Disney moved their like crappy Artemis Fowl live action animated mix straight to streaming. Bob Iger, who has not been fired by Disney, he is just the former CEO. He is now the executive creator or something like that.
He's essentially Walt, and then the other guy is
still like he's still the head.
Yeah,
I mean, Backus reports to him.
Disney's stock just jumped today because they reported that they have 50 million Disney Plus subscribers, and they didn't expect to hit those numbers for 4 years. So
yeah.
Right now,
8 million of those is from India.
Oh, absolutely.
Part of their it's part of it's like the Verizon deal. It's like it's bundled with like Hotspot or something there. And then the other subscriptions are in Western Europe. But no, I told you guys like y'all were. I remember we had some Disney Plus haters the past couple of weeks that were saying like, oh, there's nothing on Disney Plus. People don't want to subscribe. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, there's tons of stuff on there. We're just watching the old like Disney classics. Like, people like that stuff. They might not have original content, but they have Disney content, and they have a lot of Disney content. They don't just have Disney content. They have old Fox content on there too. Like, they have like there is a lot of stuff on there that people want to watch and are watching. And they are also subscribing in the future of getting that new content. Like, I think people are still interested in the Marvel Studios stuff. Like, that's what they pitched as their new content. I'm interested to see what it's like. I'm not convinced that it will be amazing, given what I saw with The Mandalorian. But I do think that I want to see what it's going to look like, right? Before I write it off. But so yeah, I do think, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that those numbers are huge. The India numbers, you have to like, I don't want to like pew on India, but just from how, like, what I understand of how that works, they're not getting as much of they're not getting a customer in the United States is worth more than a customer in India. Like, I don't want to say that. Like, that's just like a
3/5.
Sounds horrible. I'm just trying to explain to you what I'm saying. Like, there's just way more wealth here in North America than there is in India. That's not to say there isn't wealth there, but it's just they're getting more money from here in North America than they are, because they're probably not charging whatever it is here per month when it's rolled into like India's hotspot thing. So I'm not trying to say it's from a price point perspective. If that makes sense.
Definitely.
I'm probably going to get canceled now because that got clipped and it's going to be taken out of context.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to get canceled.
That's all right.
If they haven't gotten us at this point, they can't take us down at all.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's you have to like 8 million in India. You have to like look at that from a perspective, and the arrest in Dread Pirate Mikey cost of living is much lower in India.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, Mark saying the white guy shouldn't say that. Yeah. I'm not British though, so I guess I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
No.
Fine.
But no, Western Europe is a different story. Western Europe, you also have all of the they have all those like weird ad things, so they probably couldn't. I don't think Disney Plus doesn't really run any ads though, but they do with Hulu. So I don't know. It seemed that was all Disney Plus stuff, so they should be okay. But I don't know. They were really touting that. But this again, what I found this really interesting. Disney was like broadcasting it. Hey, look, we have 50 million subscribers. CBS All Access is like, oh, we had our most signups ever from Star Trek Picard. It's like, well, what were they? Oh no, they were just the most ever. Well, Disney is over here telling us they have 50 million subscribers, and you're just telling us you got the most signups, but won't tell us what the actual number is. Meanwhile, like Star Trek Picard numbers that we can actually see are like declining by the hundreds of thousands of viewers every week.
Yeah, that was.
Picard is such a monkey paw.
Meanwhile, their parks are closed around the world, and
I don't
know if the theaters are going to be opened again to show their movies.
I think the stock. How much did the stock jump up, Spencer?
It jumped up like $8.
Oh,
That's a lot, dude. That's way overreaction.
And that was when the market was closed. So tomorrow it'll probably go up even more.
That is a huge. Oh wow, that's a huge overreaction. Wow, they're valuing that Disney Plus streaming service. They're way overvaluing it.
Yeah, see, after hours.
That'll be a correction tomorrow.
Rocketed.
That is way look at that jump right there. That I think that's a overcorrection. That's way too hot. That's too much. I don't know, man.
Dude, no, it's not sustainable. It definitely is not sustainable. Probably being at this level for a couple weeks before people realized, oh yeah, there's no revenue coming in.
The one thing that the email press release that I got, it didn't say whether or not those were subscribers who have continued to subscribe. So like if you look at like if you do, I don't know if anyone does like mobile gaming, it's like, oh, it's been downloaded like 50 million times or whatever. Well, it's like
Raid Shadow Legends.
How many players do you actually have playing actively? Probably not 50 million.
Hey, that's a good segue, by the way, John. I want to mention something about mobile gaming here in a second.
Oh, we're going to talk Dead by Daylight. Go for it.
All right, so basically on April 16th, Behavior, the people that make Dead by Daylight, they're going to release Dead by Daylight on mobile. It's going to be available for Android and for iPhone both. You could go download it from the site, and they give you some nice goodies and stuff if you sign up early. So if you sign up now, you'll get some exclusive in-game items and whatnot. But when I was writing the article about it, I found some interesting stuff. I'm actually kind of salty because this is one time that they put features in a mobile game that I feel like they should have in the actual game, which basically what that comes down to is for the mobile version, they changed around obviously how you level your characters because the system is pretty comprehensive that they use on the console and on the PC. So they wanted to kind of streamline that. So I understand why they made that change. But the other thing that jumped out at you when they said that they did this exclusively for mobile, this is something they could easily implement. I'm so salty. They could have put in disconnection bots, and it was such a good idea because if the killer disconnects, if another survivor on your team disconnects, a bot generates to replace them and can still perform the basic functions of a teammate so that at least everybody can complete the round. And that's a big deal because there's times in Dead by Daylight where you're loading into a server's, somebody might get dropped or you disconnects can happen.
That's part of our lives here, right?
Right, and I wish that they would have that available on the PC version because I play the Steam version on my PC, and it would make life a lot easier if they had the disconnection bots for that. But apparently, that's exclusive to mobile. My biggest thing with everything that's going into the mobile version of Dead by Daylight, it isn't the fact that it's going to be successful. It's how they implement the controls. There'll be a lot of people playing it because a lot of people know the brand, they know the title. It has, killers and survivors that people know, a lot of killers from different movie franchises, which, FYI, anybody out there thinking of playing this on mobile, those are premium purchases because the licensed killers always are like they count as DLC content, or at least on the PC and console they do. My biggest thing is how they implement the control scheme. There's a lot of different controls when you're playing the game on a PC or console, and I don't know how you map that to a phone.
Well, they did pretty well with Fortnite, right? I mean, I don't play it myself, but clearly I know a lot of people play it on their mobile devices, and that's
Call of Duty has a mobile device game too, and then I think League of Legends is working on bringing that to mobile as well. Riot did some it's like auto chess, but it sucked.
Well, how well that's the thing. How do they implement the controls on those games? Is it just you use your virtual...
League of Legends is still in development.
Yeah, for Fortnite, I'm pretty sure it's just like you tap your left thumb on the screen, and that brings up the joystick, and then your right thumb taps the buttons.
Oh, that's doable. I know Fortnite Mobile does. It does a pretty good segment of Fortnite, and the same thing with when PUBG Mobile came out. PUBG Mobile did really good.
Oh yeah.
There's a history that a lot of AAA titles can make it when they go mobile, but it's just like I said, the biggest thing is implementation of the controls.
I totally agree. I feel like when I'm playing a mobile game, I usually want to play some kind of like turn-based game because I hate like playing the action games where I gotta like move my hand all around and like it's way too much.
I would think like turn-based RPGs and RTSs would make a killing on mobile.
Oh yeah, they're like super popular. That's why the Raid Shadow Legends is all everywhere. It's turn-based.
Yeah, like RTSs especially would make a killing. Same thing with those turn-based games because on mobile you could do those very easily. But
the issue with a lot of those games is that you can scale up pretty quickly, but then you plateau, and then it's just a grind.
Those
it just turns it into a grind, and you're just like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to go play something else now.
I understand why the developers brought Dead by Daylight to the mobile platform though, because it's a game where the time of the round is just right. A round usually goes about 10-15 minutes, and
that's long. Holy crap!
Yeah, but
15 minutes on your mobile device. Whew.
You're down like 40% battery then.
I know.
People will probably play it with their phone plugged in, but I'm saying, at least that's the experience I know from playing the PC version. But the thing is
that's
like
a really long match.
If they implement the controls right, it might do really well. It's just going to make money.
That's my biggest issue with a lot of these mobile games is that they always have some kind of like PvP aspect, and you have to like, in order to like gear up your character efficiently, you have to participate in the PvP, or it's like they have some guild and you have to be part of the guild. It's like, no, dude, I just want to play a freaking single player game where I don't have to like participate with other people, and I can just be able to like scale up that way and just collect the characters and like level them up and like give me like PvE updates. Like, that's where I'm at right now. Like when I was in high school and I had like a shit ton of time on my hands, like after school, and I wasn't working, I was like, hell yeah, like give me some Realm vs. Realm and let me just own some people. Like that's all I was about. Like let me just wreck people in PvP. This PvE stuff is crap. But now I'm just like, dude, like I don't have time to like hone my reflexes in order to compete with these people on a daily basis.
I want to.
Don, if you want to compete, you got to practice.
I would have paid money to see like Pwn the Noob's version of John Trent. That would have been.
Dude, I think I have an old video of like my guild from Dark Age of Camelot. We were called Havoc. There's like 8 of us, and we just ran over like 40 people. It was badass.
Dude, I remember back in the Diablo 2 days, I had a ladder character in hardcore. And whenever somebody killed one of my lower level characters, I would just come in with my ladder character and just wreck them.
I don't know. It's just funny because I know the type of gamer John is now. It's just I can't picture John like sitting there gaming, like talking shit, like get wrecked, noob. That's just so great.
Dude, yeah.
I would love to see you like being toxic.
Oh, dude, Dark Age of Camelot, man. Those were like the glory days.
But no, honestly though, just closing out what I'm saying, I think this game will do good, but it all depends on the controls.
So it's better than the PC version.
Oh no, the PC version's pretty good. I can play the PC version a little bit.
Dude, I remember after Dark Age of Camelot got like basically like axed by World of Warcraft and there wasn't enough people playing, to really like keep it going before they started doing all their server mergers and stuff to like create a denser population. I had it was like Burning Crusade, I think. That was what, the second expansion
For WoW, yeah.
for WoW, yeah. And I had a warlock, and it was all about like I was all about the arena, and it was like mainly like 2v2, and like I tried to find like a paladin to partner with, but I couldn't find a paladin, so I was like with a warrior, and I would just like carry this warrior through the entire arena. Like we would go up against like 2 rogues, and the warrior would like get like insta killed, like literally like right off the bat, and I would have to like take out the 2 rogues like by myself. And I was just like,
Well, I used to. I mean,
fear dot 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 fear dot dot dot.
when I played
Spell
Star Wars: The Old Republic real heavy, man, I was good at PvP on that because that's mainly what I did
Oh, dude, that's what I did too with the Old Republic. I played
all the time.
I played a bounty. I played a bounty hunter healer and a Republic commando healer, and I just was just like no one could kill me, especially if I had a tank that put guard on me.
Yeah, I just sat there most of the time in PvP queues all day because I would just go and mainly I would always try to get like Void, like the original 3 ones, the Void Star, Civil War, Hutball. I would always try to get.
Oh
So-
yeah, my favorite was the where you had to you rode the speeder bike down to the map.
Yeah,
I
that was
forget what it was called.
Civil War.
Yeah, and you had to capture the 2 points or whatever.
Yeah,
And like
you
I just stood there with my healer, and like I could just stand there. No one was gonna kill me. It was just I just was.
well, they
I
were
just-
terrible. If they let you stand there and free cast, they were terrible.
Oh, dude, I'm a master at kiting, or I was. But that's what I'm saying. I don't have the time to like practice to do all that stuff now. So I'm not trying to like. Yeah, I was pretty good. I think.
See, I just, I would love, I'd pay money to see you try to play like COD or Halo or something like
Dude,
that.
I hate the shooters, man.
I know you don't like them, but it'd be funny. I just love to see you like be toxic and talk some
It's
trash.
just getting insta killed all the time, like from behind.
Were you one of those
dying.
dudes on SWOTOR that talk trash in the chat?
Yeah. Why would you do that? Dude, I played soccer. You talk trash on the pitch all the time. It's like part of the game. Like so like I'm a referee. I was a referee for like I don't know, like 15 years. And I still talk trash as a player. Like, I didn't tolerate it when I was a referee though. I'm not gonna let people like talk trash to me. I never talked trash to the referee. There was on occasion I did. But like I knew I was gonna get a card, so I would like mouth off like basically gonna get it anyways. But like there was one time I knew he was gonna give me the card, and I was like, pull it out and give it to me or whatever.
I played that one too.
Yeah, it was the end of the game. The guy was all over me, like just mauling me, and the guy was like calling fouls against me. Ridiculous.
Dude, Mark.
No, I'm a passionate guy. Like I don't like to lose.
Nice.
And I'll talk trash to people because you want to get in people's heads. Mess them up.
Mark 63366 makes a good point though right here. Xbox Live trash talking was the best. Yes, it was the best back in the day. But recently, as of I believe the end of last year, Microsoft made a change to Xbox Live where they literally put out an anti-bullying policy where even if you're in a private party, they can ban you off of Xbox Live simply for saying certain words.
Yep.
And
we covered that. This is so stupid.
Terrible, man. It's terrible.
Is Karen one of those words?
Probably.
Yeah,
Now,
the list. You can't call people a Karen.
Karen and Boomer.
That other game that you like, Drew, the Tom Clancy game.
Oh,
what is it?
Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, they have that stupid chat filter too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
You
know.
can't even say that. You can't even say anything like trash talk anyone at all anymore.
Well, and that's the thing. That was a tradition on shooters, man. Especially Halo, Rainbow Six, anything like that. Man, that is a tradition of the highest magnitude. I mean, if you're gonna be playing one of those games, you have to hold your own as much as in game. You you have to hold your own talking shit too. I mean,
Yeah,
you're getting
it's a mental game. You're just messing with people's minds. It's
exactly.
it's just all good fun. It wasn't like you're seriously like going after the person because you didn't even know who they were.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes, Mark. Mark 63366. Yes, Halo was rough, especially in the heyday of Halo 3. The shit talk was brutal. That was crazy.
I think we need to go raid Don's little farm over here.
Take all my
Steal his
resources.
plants.
I'll boot you all.
We're gonna add in a PvP element to Animal Crossing.
Don, why do I feel like you would play Stardew Valley?
Because he does.
No, Don is over here. He's a silent killer, man. He's a sniper.
Sniping from across the
No,
farm.
while you guys are like doing strategies and all that, I'm the guy grinding up until level 99, where I just don't have to worry about anything.
Dude, I grind too, man.
The blade.
I've been playing Fire Emblem Three Houses on my replaying Fire Emblem Three Houses on my Switch. I'm doing the Claude line right now. Just got into the second act, so I'm past the time skip, and I just what did I do? I just conquered the bridge at Mirrodin, I think. So yeah. But my characters are all they're getting up there in level.
Well, when they do the Final Fantasy VII remake on Switch, are you gonna max out the timer and max out your characters then?
I'm gonna probably pick it up for PlayStation.
Oh,
because I got a PlayStation 2.
Unlike that editor from Kotaku, John might actually play.
Yeah, I'm not. Oh, even if I do like find the controls difficult, I'm not going to go whine about it.
God, that was so bad.
I mean, I did whine about Star Wars, but that wasn't me whining about like, oh, it was I was whining about that the amount of platforming I had to do was not what I thought I was going to be. It was a ton of platforming, and I thought it would be a little bit more action oriented. And it's not like I wasn't able to like accomplish it. It just took me a little bit of time. Like you just have to get the timing down. And that's just frustrating.
Oh, that's the grind.
Yeah, freaking getting the timing down on this stupid snowboard slope. It's like I was playing that. Do you remember that like really old like old Windows game where you're on like the skis and you gotta like go down the mountain?
Yeah, and the Yeti can chase you?
Yeah, that's what I felt like was happening in this Star Wars game. I was just like skiing down the slope and crashing every time.
I only remember the Battletoads and whenever you did the speeder sections, and you would have these barriers that would come up.
You're talking about like Frogger?
No, Battletoads.
Battletoads, those were brutal.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I never played that.
Battletoads. Remember that game?
No, I have Final Fantasy 12. 12. I've been the remastered version. I got like halfway through it and I put it down. But I remember playing it on my PS3. That was fantastic. I love that game a lot. That was my first Final Fantasy game, actually.
Same here.
Yeah, love that game. And the Gambit system and everything. That was great. Final Fantasy 13 was a complete shit, though. Oh my gosh, that was garbage. The characters were interesting. The game controls were stupid.
Oh, yeah.
And it was way too like in 12 I felt like I could go and explore everywhere and like was like had this open world feel, whereas like 13 I felt like I was just being like pushed through. You beat this mission, go to this mission. You couldn't actually explore the world. Yeah. And then I really hated the equipment system. That was annoying. I didn't like it.
Yeah. All right, quick random thing. By the way, happy birthday to my favorite actress, Katie Sackhoff, aka Kara Thrace, who played Starbuck in BFD. And I also have in the works a character of the day coming up of the aforementioned Kara Thrace, aka Starbuck.
Yeah, so I guess we're gonna wrap it up here. It's we're about 12:15 right now. Thank you all for joining us. Please don't cancel me. I'm sorry, I did not explain that very well at all. I still stand by my explanation. I just didn't explain it very well.
You misogynist.
Nah, he's a racist.
Yeah. But yeah, Spencer's got me his. We're converting Spencer's really good Son Goku fights into a video. I will be working on that this weekend. Hopefully, get that up either Saturday or Sunday. We have the voiceover already. I just gotta put the images to match up with the voice with the audio. So look forward to that. Again, we're continuing doing characters of the day. Got the Mace Windu one up yesterday. I actually had a lot of fun doing that. Although the one feedback we got from it was negative. The guy was upset that I was reading my script and that I was the way I was reading it in the voice. I wasn't excited enough about Mace Windu, and I was just like,
what?
I was reading it like normally. Like I wasn't trying to be like, oh my God, Mace Windu, he like sliced his head off. I wasn't trying to be like what's his name from Dodgeball, where he's just like, I think that's a bold strategy, Cotton. I wasn't trying to go for that. I was just trying to go video. Like maybe I should do like over the top excitement. I'll do my next Star Wars character of the day. Maybe
Mace Windu.
And he just chopped Jango Fett's head off. Oh, what a home run!
God.
Knocked it out of the park, he did.
Oh, man.
You can't even see his head anymore. It's just gone.
What are you gonna do, Jim Ross? By God, he broke that man in half.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, I wasn't showing enough emotion, so I do not plan on changing that. I plan on keeping those videos the tone that they are. I actually think they work well. We'll see how they do. I think our first one is already over 100 views now, so I'm pretty. It's got some legs. I'm happy about that. These videos have some legs, and that's the whole point of them. Some evergreen content. I like that. So yeah, we're gonna keep doing those. We're gonna keep updating the website. Google is playing games with us. Definitely hiding a lot of our stuff, not showing it to the amount of people they were showing it to before. But on the positive notes, we are getting much more people are viewing the website on their own. I got a report from Google saying the most searched term for the website was bounding into comics, which is a fantastic sign, which means that people are actively searching on Google to find our website, which means they are coming back and they've already heard about us. So they are return users. So we are really excited about that. And we really appreciate that. So if you are one of those people, thank you so much for doing that. And we're also getting really good growth on Twitter. We had our best Twitter month last month, and we just hit over 11,000 followers. And I think I haven't checked, but we might already be over 11,100. So really happy about that. And I love the people that want to keep hating on us because we post rumor stories. I think people really like that when we push back against them. So if you want to keep doing that, keep going because
thank you. Yeah,
we like it, and so do our fans. So that's great.
Please keep trying us, shitlords. Please.
So yeah. So things are looking well on that front. We're doing really well organically. We just gotta work through this little Google algorithm and figure it out. I was talking with Billy from One Angry Gamer earlier today, and was talking to him about some stuff. And we definitely think we're being targeted. Specifically trying to hide our stuff. We showed this to you a little bit last week, where it was very obvious that our stories were being hidden from high trending keywords. So you saw that, and we're going to keep working because people do like our content. We don't plan on changing it. So thank you for supporting us, and we appreciate that. So with that, I think I've said way too much already tonight. I'm gonna go to Don now.
Okay. All right. So I got 3 things coming out this week. First, we got a video. We're gonna be ending the series on the new Warriors with the last character on the roster, Jared Leto's love child.
Yes.
So look forward to that one coming out. I've also got.
This is the depressed one, right?
Is the one that's dressed up like Michael Jackson on court trial?
What's its name? D something?
B negative.
Oh, B negative. Oh, it's the angry one. Not the depressed one. It's the angry one. Yeah. It's the one who's actually going to be a villain. He's going to betray the team.
And then rumors and speculation. Hopefully going to get that on Friday, unless I lose the entire video again and want to smash my computer.
Wait, what? You lost the entire video?
Yeah, didn't you see the my tweet and my last video?
Yeah, he spent like 10 hours or something.
Oh my gosh, dude. I know yesterday I uploaded the Mace Windu video, and then I was like, oh my god. So I figured out how to like fix, because I know people were complaining about the audio. I figured out how to like manipulate the audio so I could take out the hum and the background noise and everything that you can hear, because people were like, oh, your mic sucks, and it's like, no, I have a shotgun mic. It's like really good. Like my mic, there's nothing wrong with my mic. It's just me not knowing how to like manipulate
electrical feedback. Yeah.
The mix.
Well, no, it's me not knowing how to use Final Cut, like figuring out that I can actually know how to do that. But like in Final Cut, when you clip the video, you have to and then you click on it and then you edit it. It's only that one. It only edits that one clip. So if I had to if I messed up and I cut out that mess up point and it goes into another, I have to switch that, and I forgot to totally do that. So I had to redo all that stuff and delete the video and re-upload it and fix it. And I was like, oh my god, John, you're so stupid. But I fixed it. So I understand that pain, dude. Editing is a lot of work. I think people don't really know how much it goes into editing these videos. There's a lot of work that goes into it. You gotta research it for the content that you're writing. Then you gotta get all the images that you want, the video that you want to use. You gotta put it all together in the right place, and it's labor intensive. It takes a good amount of time.
And then when you finally put it all together and get it up on the site, you find out there was content on there that was freaking gonna get you demonetized.
Oh well, that's yeah.
That's just part and parcel of being us.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, There's nothing. There's stuff we can do about that, but at this point in our YouTube lifespan, it's okay. It's not that big a deal. But we did learn from that though. So.
Those videos are coming out.
I'm looking forward to them. Don's videos are hilarious. The Dumbs ad is the greatest. So if you haven't seen that, definitely. That's the screen time one, right?
That's screen time. And
so check out
bag with Trailblazer.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen those yet, check those out. Great videos. Don does great work.
Yeah.
All right, Spencer.
All right. You can follow me as always on Twitter at my handle right there, Kabuto Writer Mav. Aside from that, we've got just more articles coming out. I just reviewed Tower of God episode 2, and tomorrow we've got, I forget what we've got cooking for tomorrow, but we've got John and I will have some stuff for you on the website.
Yeah, we got some anime stuff going on.
Oh yeah, we'll an update to what's going on with Shonen Jump and
yeah. Yeah, so there's some one of the editors, I think, or the employees at Shonen was tested positive. So there's a lot of changes going on with that.
Yeah, getting really confusing. So we'll let you know how to sort it out.
Yeah. So yeah, that should be really interesting stuff there. And then I think you're working on a Akame.
Oh yeah, the next character of the day.
Yeah.
Esteth from Akame Got Kill. So
yeah, Esteth. There he is. Yeah. Okay.
Still working on that. It'll be probably up whenever we get it done, but it's coming.
Yeah, and Jorge has a Geordie LaForge that I'm going to look at, and we're going to try and get that one up. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I might work on one tomorrow. I don't know. I think I want to do a Marvel character. I was thinking about doing Magneto, but I was like, man, that's the kind of Phil's ballpark.
Gold balls.
Gold balls. Oh my gosh. I want to do a Marvel character so I can put him in our like Marvel stories. Like so every Star Wars story now, you're going to see like the Mace Windu at the top.
Do Storm.
Story.
You should do Karen.
Yeah. Do Storm.
Oh, Karen, gosh.
Karen.
Yeah, maybe Storm. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's a Fantastic Four or something because there's a lot of stuff going on with them. People might be interested in learning a little bit more about Ben Grimm or something.
All right.
So, we'll see. But yeah, so we got a lot. These are really fun. I think you guys are enjoying doing them too.
Yeah.
I know I like finding out more about the characters that I like finding more about their stories. It's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that like Raphael turned into like a mutant turtle and was like a giant kaiju like destroying New York City. So like that was kind of fun finding out about that and just like all the cool, crazy stuff that happened back in the day. But yeah, so that's what we got going on. Again, if you haven't already, please sign up for our email on the website. We usually send out an email once a day, every weekday. And then if you're still here and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And if you're just watching, please subscribe as well.
Follow us on Google News.
Yep, follow us on Google News. If you haven't done that already, please follow us on Google News. I think that we're going to try and break through this. That's one of the ways we're going to try and get more people subscribing to us on Google News. So that's like a signal to Google that like you want to read our content, and that means they maybe want to show it to more people. So we like that. So yeah, thank you for that reminder, Spencer. Appreciate that. And then we have a Facebook group too. Search Banding in the Comics, should show up. Very active, a lot of fun, a lot of different people. We get a lot of YouTubers that post their stuff in there. Good conversations. People are actually, for the most part, will civilly debate. Sometimes I have to, hey, knock it off, knuckleheads. But yeah, yeah, Don, he's a knucklehead. You know, we gotta watch out for him. He's one of those quiet knuckleheads too, because you just never know what he's gonna say. But all right, yeah. So again, I'm rambling here. But thank you all for joining us, and we do this every Wednesdays at 9 p.m. usually Eastern time.
Oh yeah,
live.
Subscribe to my channel.
What's that, Drew?
Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Oh
yep.
yeah.
Subscribe to Supreme Heritage.
I didn't get a chance to like say what I was
plug your thing.
Oh, I thought you had already done it because you were talking. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Drew.
All right. So, yeah, you guys can check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com, Supreme Heretic. I have tomorrow the Pegasus Actual Podcast, which is my weekly Battlestar Galactica show that we cover. And tomorrow is going to be hilarious because we have had this running thing as we've been reviewing season 1 of Ron Moore's Battlestar Galactica. We've had a running joke in our chats about what happened to the character Boxy, the kid. So we've had all kind of crazy, hilarious theories that our chatters have been bringing us. So I have a big day ahead of me tomorrow. I'm going to compile all those. And then when we go live tomorrow, it's all going to be dedicated to those theories that people have had through the season. And we're going to have the people, all the different people on that had Boxy theories. We're going to rotate them onto the panel tomorrow to talk about their Boxy theories and whatnot. So it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be a good time. That'll be 9 p.m. Eastern. So make sure that you check out my channel for that. You can follow me on Twitter at Supreme Heretic. And of course, read me on Bounding into Comics.
Hey, Drew, don't you have something else going on your Pegasus Actual podcast tomorrow?
And oh, what's that, sir?
I don't want to spoil it. I'll let you spoil it if
You
you
can
want.
spoil it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So you're going to have a guest of some
Oh,
sort.
that's in the future. Yes, I have some interesting things set up for down the road. So
Not
we
this
got
one.
some good connections with people, and it looks like, especially as we start reviewing season 2 a couple weeks from now, we may have some of the stars of the actual show that are able to come on. So due to some connections that we worked out. So we'll see what happens with that. You guys are just going to have to come by my channel and tune in. But read us all on Bounding into Comics. We have a great staff. We have great stories for you on the daily. And, I'm working for the best boss I could possibly ask for right here. This handsome guy up in the left-hand corner, even though we're all going to cancel him. So
That's right. Cancel proof. All right. Thank you that for Drew. Yeah, subscribe to Supreme Heretic. Check that out. Y'all have a great night, and we will see you next week.
Have a good night, guys.
Take it easy.